Live. Oh, we got Libra scales in the house. Hold on, Libra. I gotta. All right. Well, I had two other people. Hold on, guys. 1 second. So I was told to look up. Hold on a second, guys. How is everybody? By the way, we got Libra scales backstage. I'm going to bring her on in a minute. There's somebody else actually. Who did I just send A-Team? I just sent you out invite. I had people emailing me from both emails, and then so if I missed anybody, let's just take it one at a time. Well, actually, I could just bring Libra up right now. Libra?
Hello.
What's up?
Nothing much. Just chilling, watching Ms. Zavgirl.
I love your art. Who did your art? That's pretty cool.
It's Bob's Burgers. I'm a fan of the show Bob's Burgers. And that is Tina, and she's writing a unicorn, and she enjoys zombies, unicorns, and butts.
Okay. Well. Butts. Huh.
Yeah, she likes boys' butts.
Wait, what is it called?
Bob's Burgers.
Why does it sound familiar?
It's like a animated cartoon.
Yeah,
on Fox.
On Fox? Oh, okay. Is it like on the? Yeah. It's not on like Adult Swim, or my sister used to watch like those, but it's probably not on that. Like
Yeah, I think you can watch episodes on Adult Swim. You used to be able to, at least.
Okay. Do you watch some of those? What are some of those cartoons? My sister used to. Her and her husband used to watch them. I could never. I don't know. I tried to watch them with her sometimes, and I don't know.
I like
but not
Rick
this
Morty
one. I don't think
American Dad.
Okay, yeah. That's a couple
Guy,
of them. Okay,
all kinds of stuff,
okay.
So. I definitely like my adult cartoons.
Yeah, my sister loved them. I don't know. Maybe I just have to give it another try. I could just never. Every time she would play them, I would just like zone out. I would zone out. I don't even know what's going on. Like I was just thinking about other things. I could never like stay focused on it. I don't know. Yeah. I might try it again because. What are some of are those the ones you were naming? Is that on Adult Swim though? There's one I'm thinking of. Was one of her favorites. I don't think you've named it yet. It's going to be on. I'm going to be. Hold on. Let me see. Well, I can look it up later. It's just going to drive me nuts now. Okay. So let me look up. I want to look up that Mulder guy. Thanks for reading. There might be somebody else. Too. So I don't know. How do you want to do this? I think I should stick with the defense since I've been doing the defense. Would you want to read the state?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me hold on. I want to look up this Mulder guy because somebody emailed me and they're like, "You have to look him up." Were you listening? Wasn't he like? First of all, he comes in like whining. Me and Bello cracking up when we were talking about it beforehand. He comes in whining, and then I don't know, just all the stuff. Maybe were you guys catching some
having to mark the exhibits?
Having what?
To mark the exhibits, like if I knew the order of the witnesses, I would be better prepared.
Yeah, and then his opening statement comes in talking about how he's so upset because the state always gets to go first, and first impressions are so important, and he can't go first. It's like, what? I'm thinking, wow, that's a horrible first impression because that's what he started off. That was his first impression. And it was like you wasted it probably took him like at least a few minutes you wasted talking about being mad because you couldn't go first. It's like you gotta be. And first impressions are so important. Does he not realize that what he's doing as a first impression right now? I mean, yeah. So what are you doing, idiot? Just joking. Right. But he's like a really high dollar lawyer too. So it's like, gosh, what the heck? But that's why I want to look him up before we start. So we have kind of a picture of who we are. And I'll look up your, the main one prosecutor that is Greg Davis. and Shook seem to be the only one so far that's been talking on the prosecution side. Oh, wait, actually, do you have a piece of pen and a paper? You could write this down because I want you to write down the prosecution names. So then when you see them, you know that's you.
Yeah, let me get a pen.
And then I'm going to look up, what was his name? Mulder. I think Donald Mulder. Let's see, so it'd be Texas attorney, right?
Okay, I got a pen.
Legendary Dallas trial lawyer Doug Mulder. He died in 2018, but he's legendary here. Okay.
No,
let's get some pictures up while she's getting her pen.
I've got a pen.
Okay, so write down these names, and then when you see these names, that's you for prosecution. Okay. John Vance, Greg Davis, Toby Shook, and Sherry Wallace.
Okay.
And then as you've seen, like when we remain true to the lawyer side. So for instance, what you saw, like we would change, like the witness, we would go back and forth and play the witness, but then we always played our side, you know? So like, when you saw how we were doing it then. Okay. Okay. So see, I'm confused because of bringing up a picture that I remember seeing this guy, but he's not the same guy. Hold on. I just want to figure out, I want to make sure I have the right guy for this Douglas Mulder before I show everybody. That's weird though. That can't be the same guy, can it? Hold on. He either looks really... Thanks for doing this. You're the only one.
No problem.
Here, I sent out, I think 3 invitations. You're the only one that came again. But thank you. I appreciate it because there's no way I could do it myself. It would just be, I don't know, it just wouldn't work, you know?
Right, right.
Wait, is his name Douglas? Hold on a second. Because I'm bringing up 2 different guys that they look totally different. They can't be the same guy. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure.
I put in Doug Mulder in 1996 Texas, and there's like a newspaper clipping that has a photo.
Oh my God! I put in Donald Mulder. That's why. When you just said Douglas, I'm like, oh my God! I put in Donald. Okay. Okay, I see. Doug Mulder. Okay, you see one is the one that says legendary Dallas trial lawyer Doug Mulder.
Yeah, but at the top it says prosecutors are faulted in Dallas murder case. It's an article from March 23rd, 1989.
Oh.
The Times, New York Times.
Well, you know what? I'm going to share my screen right here because it's showing, like, they call it a Mad Dog Mulder, I think. I think I'm just going to bring up some pictures and then I guess we could look just so we kind of see, because this guy's cracking me up. Like she got screwed. Not only does he cost way too much, I think he is horrible so far. I mean, I know we only seen 2 witnesses, but so far he's not very good at all. Mm-hmm. In my opinion. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, share. Okay, so I'll show you some pictures here, you guys, so we can kind of put a face to. So this is him when he's younger, I'm pretty sure, and that right here, and then this is the myth, the man, the legend, the attorney. So this is probably him more closer to when he died, I would guess. And then this is probably more, wait, I'm trying to think, what would he have looked like in 96? That's kind of what I want. I feel like that might be more him in 96, but let me see. If I type in, which one did you bring up? I'm under images. I just wanted to see pictures, but actually, and this is him too. Yeah, I guess that would be him. But look, Mad Dog Mulder. Oh, wow. Look at this. Is the man who sent Randall Dale Adams to death row and defends Walker Rayleigh, one low-down sleazy lawyer, or a top-seeded gladiator who fights for the thrill of winning? That's who we're, it's gotta be who we're, which one are you saying now, Libra?
When I put in on Google, I typed in Doug Mulder, 1996 Texas, And it was the first article that came up under the NewYorkTimes.com. And it says prosecutors are faulted in Dallas murder case. And there's a photo of him like right in the middle of
Okay.
of the page with the highlighted newspaper
I
article.
don't see that one, but I see.
I
Definitely the
typed
guy
it
says.
opposite of what you did. I put
Oh,
in
okay.
Doug, Doug Mulder,
Oh,
and
okay.
then 1996 Texas.
I just want to see some of these. Is it something we should? What you found something you think is? Oh, because it shows him what he looked like in 1996. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. It has like a
Oh,
newspaper
okay.
clipping from March 23rd,
Oh,
1989.
oh, 89. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to find what he looks like in more like 96 because that's
Mm-hmm.
when the trial was. I just kind of want to see. He's definitely not like, well, I shouldn't even. Never mind. 1996. Okay, let me see if I could find. I bet you. Well, that's just two. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, we get a good look. Um, we kind of see him younger to older. So that's her main guy that they paid the top dollar for. Look, Doug Mulder had been Dallas's greatest attorney. He certainly thought so. I'm thinking he's calling these children youngsters. Like, how do you have to get some emotion out of these jurors? I mean, like, why youngster? Like, isn't that kind of, I don't know. That didn't sit well
It's
with
a
me.
southern thing. It's a southern thing. I
Okay.
lived in Texas for a long time, and they use the word youngster for kids all the time.
Okay. But wouldn't you think that they should have said it the name of the child instead though? Or
I
well,
mean, I would have found that more appropriate.
unless if they were trying to keep the emotion out of it because he's with the defense. I don't know. But
They have.
neighborhood. Okay, so he's yeah, he was like one of those well they said what did it say? Mad Dog Mulder or something like that? Says of his father who's died Sunday. Okay, let me see. Both prosecutor and defender, but Doug and his son Chris, the man who delivered the sentiment, understood what couldn't really be true. So he was 79. He died of a stroke. They were all his family had been concerned that Mulder would die of a heart attack. We were looking in the wrong direction for things to be afraid of. Huh. That's weird. Some kind of weird to say that. Okay, so Mr. Mulder, most famous resident, Dallas's neighborhood's most famous resident. He looked like a movie star even when doing yard work. Wow. Oh, this is the one you saw, right? But Walker Rayleigh, is this the defended? He's in the right. Okay, he's right here on this. This is 93. So this is 3 years before he represented Darlie. Okay. So we gotta look. What's your Greg Davis? Let's see what the prosecutor looked like. The main one. Or do you guys even care? Sometimes I like to put faces to. Oh, I didn't even know that she was gone. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, no, that's somebody else. A-team. Wait, Libras. Oh my god, what is going on? A-team. What's up? Hello? See, I don't even hear. I'm so confused right now. Libra scale has disappeared, and I'm over here talking to her thinking she was there. Oh, maybe I'm just rambling. There she
Hey,
is.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Oh my god. Whoa, oh, that's a video. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm
I don't know
echoing.
how to put my avatar up.
Hold
Oh,
up.
you hit no photo.
Hello?
Hello?
How I'm trying to think what the best way if we do should we do all three at the same time or should we just do two and like take turns or something? Because I'm trying to think how huh. Who are you guys planning on being up late, both of you?
I mean,
How
I'm good until like 4:30 my time because
Ooh,
I'm playing hooky. I'm supposed to be in bed, and I told my husband I was gonna go to bed, but I can't sleep. So he gets home from work about 5 a.m. and I've got to make him breakfast. So figured that's enough time to
Okay, yeah,
to
definitely.
yeah.
Oh, I've seen him. This is the guy you see all over all the documentaries. Greg Davis, the main prosecutor. This is the guy that was going on about the stupid mulch not being disturbed when there was no mulch under the freaking window.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no mulch disturbed. Why would they? He's so he confused or miss. How would you even word that? Basically, I don't even know if that'd be manipulating, but it was like led people to think that something was something that wasn't. Like I don't know
Right.
the best way to describe it. So what's up, A team? Okay, so
doing good.
we gotta figure out how to do this because maybe hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me maybe I don't know how to do
18.
it every time.
Yeah,
If you want to put your avatar up on the
yeah.
bottom where it
hmm
has the cam right next to the mic, if you hit that and you tell it no, it'll you can add your photo instead.
Well, I do. It says edit avatar and it shows a little
There
blank
should be a
picture,
plus
but
sign. There should be a plus
yes,
sign next to it,
right.
and then
Why
you'll
is it?
be able to go to your gallery,
But
and
it's
then you
not.
pick a photo. It's not?
Is it because
Hmm.
my permissions aren't allowing it, or
Did you give it all permissions to access everything?
Did somebody just I don't know, I think her audio went off or something now. Huh.
Mhm.
Oh no, it isn't. I don't um I don't know. It is pretty it depends if she's on a computer or a phone though. What are you on?
I entered in on my phone.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So if she's on her phone, you could probably just
oh, okay.
explain it better than me.
Yeah. So that's how I
Camera.
did it. Because
So like
I
right
just
now
hit
I'm
the
in the
button.
dark.
Yeah.
I'm live,
See,
but I'm in the dark.
I just hit the no camera and then it said, to add a photo and there was a plus sign next to it. So I
Yeah.
hit the plus sign. I went through my gallery,
hmm
and it gives you an options wherever your photos are stored. I chose what photo I wanted and then it pulled it right up.
Oh, well she has she wants to put her
A
own.
photo like mine, yeah.
Okay. Um I'm trying to think how we should do this though. I might you want to just take turns from doing because it might get confusing to have three. So maybe A team will keep you backstage. Me and Libra will do like the first part, and then when we need a third person, do you know what I'm saying? Because if not, I don't know how to delegate what's what. No, you don't have to leave. Wait, I just met backstage. Where'd she go? I hope she didn't think that I meant that she had to leave.
Oh no.
Leave. Well, she'll come
Come
backstage hopefully, and then
back.
okay, A team. Um, Okay, so let's start with William Gersh, and then when we get to that point where we need the third person, or we could go from uh when we get to a new person, and then she could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel
Yeah.
like if not, I don't know how else we would do it. So A team, stay backstage. We're gonna definitely need you because there's a lot of reading. I mean, we're gonna need more people definitely. But let's just try to do two at a time, and then. Why is this not going up? Are you ready, Libra? We're gonna start off here and
I'm
then
ready when you are.
okay, so why is mine I'll just do it this way. Okay. Okay. So can you read it okay on the screen when I hold on when I
You're on
do it?
my TV screen, so I've got you
Oh,
on a
you
70-inch.
oh
And
shoot,
then
you're
I've got
really good.
comments on the right side scrolling up so I can see what everybody's saying.
Wow, you
Yeah.
are on it. Okay. A team, stay
Mhm.
backstage because we're gonna get to you. Okay, so no, okay, Toby Shook. I think that's you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you. Okay. So
Okay. State your name, please.
William Walter Gorsuch.
Would you spell your last name, please?
Gorsuch.
Where do you live, sir?
8401 Eagle. Man, I should have blocked that out probably. I'm not going to just go ahead.
Okay. And are you originally from Rolette, Texas?
No, I'm not.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Maryville, Missouri, Nottoway County.
Okay. And when did you move here to Sandra M?
Oh,
Texas.
that's okay.
My
You got
bad, it caught me.
No, believe me, it's hard. September of 1984.
Okay. Do you have family?
Yes, I do.
What does your family consist of?
My wife and 2 children, a 9-year-old and 11-year-old.
Okay. Boy and girl?
Yes,
Which one is the 9-year-old?
the boy,
Okay. What's his name?
Jonathan.
Okay. How long you've lived in Rolette?
I've lived in Rowlett since April of 86.
Okay. And to kind of orient the jury, tell the jurors where Rolette's located near Dallas.
Rowlett, Texas is located to the east of Dallas on Lake Ray Hubbard, the city reservoir. It's approximately 35 miles from downtown Dallas. It's a suburb of Dallas just east of Garland.
The portion of Rolette that you live in, is that in Dallas County?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And for the record, in the state of Texas?
In the state of Texas.
Okay. And how long have you lived at the location you're at now?
I've lived at that house since November of 92.
Okay. Prior to that, were you also living in Rolette?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Where did you live then?
I lived in 8501 Woodside, which is approximately 3 blocks south of there,
Okay. And how long have you lived there?
since April of 86.
Okay. What brought you to Texas in the first place?
Job. I worked originally for Rockwell International.
Okay. Where do you work now?
I work for the same company, but it has since changed hands. It's now Alcatel Telecom.
Okay. And what type of work do you do with them?
I'm a telecommunications engineer, support 3rd tier.
Okay. And you moved into that residence in 1992?
November of 92, correct.
Okay. Describe that neighborhood for the jury. Is it a relatively new neighborhood or an old neighborhood?
Dal Rock Heights is relatively new neighborhood. When we moved to Rowlett in April 86, that neighborhood was an open field. It started being built, I don't remember the exact date. It filled up rather quickly. We were probably the first 60% of the new homes being built in that area. Most of the homes in that area are 1,000 plus.
100,000.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, 100,000.
Sorry.
No, you're all right.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
All right. Whoever has the beeper on, turn it off.
Oh, that's the
think
court.
that
I
was
forgot.
you.
Okay,
My
yeah.
bad.
So,
Sorry.
I forgot to tell you, I'm the court and you're the jury.
Okay.
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 But you're fine. I'm the one that screwed it up. But that's funny. Whoever has the beep on, turn it
That
off.
was
Okay.
okay.
So, oh yeah, mentioned items were marked for identification only as State Exhibit 6A and 6B. After which time the proceedings were resumed on the record in open court as follows.
Let me show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 6B. Do you recognize this being a map of Rolette?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is this how Rolette appears in the Dallas area and the greater close-up of the area that you live in, Rolette?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll offer State's Exhibit 6B.
No objection.
Okay, we'll offer 6A and 6B.
We don't have any objection to either one of them. State Exhibit 6A and 6B are admitted. And then we just skip this whereupon stuff. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Could I have the witness step down for a moment, Judge?
You may.
Let's see. Step down for the witness stand. Approach the jury rail. Mr. Gorsh, let me get you to step back so that all of the jurors can see, but let me hold the exhibit up. And if you could, first on the lower portion of the exhibit, point out where Dallas is and where Roulette is located in relation to Dallas.
This is the Dallas area. Roulette is a little bit northeast of Dallas. The upper map shows a closer view of Roulette, and Roulette is basically dissected in the center with Darlac Road, which this is Rockwell County. This is Dallas County. Eagle Drive is located in this area right where the red dot is.
And 5801 Eagle Drive, is that a neighbor's residence?
It is a neighbor's residence. Oh, sorry. Mr. Shook, could you move back just a little bit so the defense can get a good view too, please? Thank you. Am I the witness now? Oh, I am the witness, ain't I? 5801 address. Even though my address is 8401, comes up directly north and then turns directly west. The numbering system changes as it turns to go back south. The north-south street is lowered numbered system than what my address is.
Okay. And are you familiar with how big the city of Roulette is?
Yes.
Is it a big or small city?
It's fairly large. It's approximately 35,000. When we moved there in 86, it was only 6.
All right. If you could take your seat up there. The neighborhood that you live in now, you've lived there since 1992. Is that right?
That's correct.
And previous to that, you lived about 3 blocks away?
Correct.
Okay. Describe that particular neighborhood to the jury. What is it like?
It's a fairly upscale neighborhood, as it's been described before. The neighborhood is mostly family oriented, lots of small children, and kind of a bedroom community, so to speak. Most of Rowlett is a bedroom community. I mean, most people go to work between 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning and return home between 5 and 6 o'clock at night. Rowlett pretty much deserted during the day.
Do the Roulette police, do they have a high profile presence in your neighborhood?
Very.
Okay. What areas did they patrol around your home? Any specific areas they really don't? Sorry.
Any specific areas? They really don't have any. The police are in the area quite often, as according to the map there, Roulette is kind of split by Lake Ray Hubbard. So there's a part of Roulette that's kind of by itself. It's almost a peninsula. The police are out in that area quite often because it is hard to get there. There's only really 2 roads that you can get to that side of Roulette. So the police have kind of stations that sit in that area. Oh, I messed that up.
So is it unusual to see police officers coming down your street at all times during the day or night?
No.
Okay. What about in the evening as far as traffic down your street? Is there a lot of traffic on your street?
No, there isn't. Our street, as the map here shows, which is actually a little incorrect, it shows Eagle Drive going all the way to 66 Highway, which is now Lake Point Drive. Eagle Drive does not go all the way to 66. So it's, for the most part, it basically services our neighborhood and our neighborhood only. It does not have a major thoroughfare connection other than off of Darlac Road. Major traffic through the area up until about 5, 6, or 7 o'clock that night is typical for a normal neighborhood. After that, it drops off until probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Then it'll drop again to almost nothing.
Okay. Now, living in that neighborhood, have you come to meet several of your neighbors?
Yes.
Okay. Did you meet Darlie and Darren?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Sorry.
When they moved in. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. Yes, I did.
Okay. Were you moved in the neighborhood first or were they?
We were.
Okay. When did they move into that particular neighborhood?
It would have probably been in the spring of 93 to the summer of 93, sometime in there.
Okay. Was there a house there when you first moved in or was it built?
No, it was built.
Okay. So they were the first residents of the house.
Yes.
Okay. And where is their house in relation to your house?
Directly across the street. My house faces to the south, their house faces to the east. It's almost a direct corner from my house.
Okay. And did they have children with them when they moved in?
Yes, they did.
Okay. How many children did they have?
2 boys.
And did you come to learn their names?
Yes, I did.
And what are their names?
Devin and Damon.
Okay. Now you said you have a 9-year-old, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Eventually, did you hear your 9-year-old become friends with them?
Yes, he did.
Okay, let me show you what's been marked as State's Evidence 9A and 9B. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And are they photographs of Damon Routier and Devin Routier?
Yes, they are.
We'll offer State's Exhibits 9A and 9B.
No objection. States Exhibit 9A and 9B are admitted. I want to see if I have 9A and 9B. Hold on a second. Let's just see if we, just in case, if, I don't know. Where is that? Oh, States Exhibit. Let's just see what it is. It might just be, obviously it's a picture. So if it's an autopsy, it's not, but maybe it's just a picture of them. No, I guess not. Okay, I just wanted to, oh, shoot. Let's see if we could add, because some people, they like to
See a visual.
see pictures. Hold on a second. Let me just see. Because one of them has the kids more pictures of the kids. No, that's not it. Oh, these don't. Yeah, okay. So never mind. We're not going to find them. All right, let's go back. So we're right here.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibit 9B. Is this a photograph of Devin Routier?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And was he the older boy?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And do you know how old he was?
When I don't understand the question exactly. When?
Okay. Let's go back to the summer of this year, June of 96. Do you know how old he was at that time?
6, I believe.
Okay. Was he younger than your boy?
Yes.
How old was your boy back in June of 96?
8.
Okay. Then State's Exhibit 9A. Is this a photograph of Damon Routier?
Yes, it is.
Was he the youngest boy between Devin and Damon?
Yes, he was.
And how old was he back in June of 96?
I believe he was 2 years younger, approximately.
Okay. Since your boy became friends with them, did you see them a lot?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did they play together a lot?
Yes.
Okay. And where did they play?
The Routier's home, my home, yards, backyards, front yards. Boys play about anywhere.
Okay. Did you get to know Devin and Damon pretty well?
Yes.
Okay. How often did they play with your boy Jonathan?
We lead kind of a hectic life with soccer and school and scouts and everything. It was nothing uncommon to play 2 or 3 times a week and on the weekends when available.
Okay. If your boy was around, were they usually playing with each other?
That or one of the other neighborhood kids, and he would join in, yes.
Okay. So you've had them in your home and your boy went over to the Routier's home.
Yes.
The Routiers themselves, did you know them very well?
Not very well, no. I knew them by sight.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you see Darlie Routier in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Okay. If you could point her out, please.
The 4th chair from the left.
The woman here in the dress scattered at the table or seated at the table.
Yes.
Your Honor, if the record could reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
Yes, sir.
And did you ever meet her husband, Darren, after they moved in?
Yes, I actually met him before they moved in.
Okay. Now, you weren't close friends with either of the adult Routiers, is that right?
No.
How many conversations had you had with the defendant, Darlie Routier?
One, possibly.
Okay. How about Darren Routier? How many conversations have you had with him?
4, possibly.
Okay. Were these either one of your homes, inside the homes, or where did these take place?
Basically in front of the homes, different places beside the homes, in front of the homes, in the street.
Okay, but you weren't close friends with them, is that right?
No.
Okay. Were they closer friends with other neighbors that are in the neighborhood other than yourself?
Yes.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
You may.
I want to show you a couple of aerial photographs. One marked States Exhibit 8, the other marked States Exhibit 7. Do you recognize both these photographs as being aerial photographs of your neighborhood?
Yes, they are Darrock Heights.
Okay. And do they accurately reflect how your neighborhood looked, how the streets were situated back in June of 96?
Yes, they do.
We'll offer States Exhibit 7 and 8 at this time.
Hold on, let me see if I could find that. It has to be in the States Exhibit 7 and 8. Let's see. I just want to give, if we can, let them see a picture when. Okay, it's going to be like an aerial shot of the neighborhood, right?
Up, go up.
Oh, did I miss it?
Yeah,
This
I
way?
think you passed it. No,
Oh,
up, like other way.
this way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Down.
It
All
was
right. It
on
is
the
up.
far left side. No, up, other way.
Oh, this way.
Yeah,
Oh,
other
okay.
way. Yeah, there you go. Nope, opposite.
Wait, I keep going up. Oh, wait, we're in a
Yeah.
delay maybe or something. Wait, is it? I don't know which
No,
way you're
it was
talking about.
further up toward like the beginning when you
Oh, okay.
were
Okay, so the beginning is up here.
scrolling down. Yeah,
Oh, right here. You're right. This has to be it, right? Well,
it
it's
has to
exhibit
be.
20, but I mean, it does give the neighborhood look, but they said exhibit 7. I don't know. I'm confused.
Oh, well,
It said 7 and 8, but none of these are
right.
matching up. Wait, that's 17. Okay, let's see. They should be going in order, right? Okay, hold on. Oh, now it goes to 30. It skipped from like, okay, yeah. Wow. Oh, well. But that did show part of the neighborhood, so that was.
It looks like an aerial picture to me.
It did. It definitely did, but it said 20. I don't know why they're saying 7 and 8 for some reason. I'm trying to get back to. I just want to see something. If we go all the way down, if it starts going backwards again, and the. Oh well, yeah, that's not. I don't know why. It's going to be hard to follow it with pictures because they don't match up. It seems like that was States Exhibit,
What
right?
is that?
Yeah, I did the States Exhibit.
Yeah.
As if it's under maps. Oh.
Ooh, yeah, could be.
Probably one of these. I mean, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
there you go. Aerial view of the Routier home.
Okay, so there's the Routier home, right? So it's like on the corner. Okay, so you guys got kind of a mental image of what it looks like in case if maybe it'll help you follow along with this testimony, I guess. Okay, so let's go back to. All right. So I think we're going to be right here, Toby, right there.
Right. Your Honor, could I have the witness step down for a moment?
You may step down, please, sir. Watch your step. Witness stand and approach the jury rail, and the proceedings were resumed as follows.
Now, Mr. Gorge, let me turn this display around and get on the other side looking at States Exhibit number 7. We're looking at kind of an aerial photograph.
Mr. Shook, do you need a pointer or anything? Okay, go ahead.
Of the entire neighborhood, what do you call it? The Dalrock
Heights area.
Dalrock Heights area. Is this what this reflects?
Yes, it is.
Okay, the street labeled Dalrock. Could you describe that for us?
Dalrock Road is basically a road that runs between Highway 66, a little point, or a little point north of Highway 66, which is about another quarter of a mile what the picture encompasses here. It runs all the way to I-30, which is approximately 2.5 miles south.
Okay. And how far is Highway 66 in relation to this photograph?
About a quarter of a mile beyond. It probably, in relation to the picture and the scale, is somewhere in this area.
Okay.
Oh, it's east-west. Owl Rock Road is in north-south. It's also the Dallas-Rockwell County line.
Okay. Eagle Drive is located right along here. Is that right?
Correct. Until the corner, and then it turns around this way.
Okay. Is it still named Eagle Drive once it comes down this way?
Yes, it is.
All right. And I think I'll give you the pointer. And if you could point, first of all, where your house is located on this exhibit.
My house is located right here at this corner facing north and south.
Okay. And there's a marker on there. 5801 Eagle. Whose home is that?
That's the Routiers.
Okay. So you're directly across the street.
Yes.
And where does Eagle Drive eventually wind up over here as you go down?
It would probably wind up in a dead end, approximately over here at a street that goes back south, only to Highgate.
Okay.
So hold on, I want to look at this again. So is this what? So I wonder, is this pointing out Darlie's, or if this is that state's exhibit, this would be the Gores? I don't know. So are they? If this is Darlie's, right? If this is the Routiers, then would they be right here? Do you
I
know,
would
Libra?
assume so.
Okay.
You said across the street, so I would have to assume that it would be over there.
Here, somewhere. Okay. Just kind of wanted to get a look. All right. So we are right here, and then continues back through the other older division.
Okay, so you were talking about earlier, you don't get a lot of traffic coming down Eagle during the evening hours.
No.
Okay, but in this general area, the Roulette police are usually out making patrols all the time during the day.
Making patrols, or you'll see them sitting also.
Okay, and do they sit in this area, just kind of sit and watch traffic go by or whatever?
Yes, they do. The Lake Point Baptist Church at that time, there is another part of the parking lot up in this area that has a sign that sits in the middle of the driveway. A lot of times they'll sit in one of these 4 driveways and they'll just sit there and watch traffic go up and down Darlie Rock. Yeah.
Okay, let me show you state's exhibit. It's 7-8.
I think it's 8 because this is 7.
Okay, 8. We're looking at a little more close up of the neighborhood, 5801. Is this the Routier's home?
Yes, it is.
Okay, first of all, let's point out to your house again. Can we see it on this photograph?
8401 right here.
Okay, and do you know the other neighbors close to you?
Directly east of me, this would be Terry and Karen Neal.
Okay.
There's an elderly couple that lives here. I don't know their names. There is an Oriental family that lives here. I do not know their name. There's a house that's not on this picture. It's on the larger one in this area, and that would be the Adams.
Okay. Now, you're not close personal friends with the Routiers. Is that right?
That's correct.
Just across the street neighbors.
Yes.
Are there other neighbors here that are closer friends with them?
Yes.
Okay, who would that be?
The Neals.
The Neals, right here?
And the Adams, which is not on this picture, they would be located in this area.
Okay. Do you know the Adams? Is that their last name?
Mercedes and Mike, I believe.
Okay, really quickly. Can we see their house in this photograph?
It would be this one here.
Okay, so it's just a couple of houses down also.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And as far as the boys playing, your child, where did he play with the Routiers?
Again, behind my house, which is located back here, in front of the house is the Neals' yard, their yard behind the house, beside the house, kind of anywhere in this area is fair game.
Okay, you can have a seat.
All right.
Now, Mr. Gorge, let me turn your attention to the morning hours of June 6th, 1996, and ask you if you had to go into work that evening.
Yes, I did.
Okay, actually, I guess let me turn your attention to June 5th, the day before that. Did you go into work those late evening hours?
Yes, I did. I went to work at approximately 10 o'clock.
Okay, and do you recall what day of the week that was?
Wednesday, I believe.
Okay. Was it unusual for you to go into work for late hours?
It's not unusual. It's not common either. It's only when required.
Okay. And what was your occasion for going into work on that day?
Customer support of a telecommunication system that needed some work done to it, which had to perform after hours, which they don't like to take the telephone systems down during the middle of the day. Our work can only be done after midnight. The system was located in Pennsylvania, which is on the East Coast, which was 11 o'clock our time, midnight their time, which is when we could do the work.
Okay. Had you been home earlier during the evening hours at your house?
Yes, I had.
Okay. Had you seen the Routier children,
Yes, I had.
Devin and Damon?
Yes,
Now, the Routiers also had a small infant. Is that right?
correct.
Okay. Did you have any contact with the infant?
No.
You just dealt with Devin and Damon.
Yes, sir.
Where did you see Devin and Damon on the night of the 5th?
They were playing with my son. Again, kind of fair game area. They were in my backyard. I was mowing my yard, so I asked them to get out of the backyard and go to the front yard. Whenever I went to the front yard and started mowing, they were gone. The assumption was they probably went across the street to the Routiers. I later saw them riding bicycles, I believe, in the area around their side of the street again, staying away from my mowing.
Okay, you were just doing that as a safety precaution.
Yes.
Okay. How long did they play with your son Jonathan that night?
It was approximately until dark, probably 8 or 8:30.
Okay. Where is the last place you saw Devin and Damon that evening?
That I actually saw them was riding their bicycles in that area north of their home on the sidewalk.
When you were out mowing your lawn or
Yes.
mowing the lawn?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Darlie Routier outside of her home that evening?
No.
Okay. How about Darren Routier? Did you see him?
No.
All right. You just saw the boys out there.
Yes.
Was that unusual not to see them outside of their home?
No, not really.
Okay. And when you went to work around 10 p.m. that evening,
Correct.
okay, how long did you stay at work?
Until approximately 25 after 1.
Okay, so 1:25 in the morning.
Correct.
And did you leave work at that time?
Yes, I did.
Prior to leaving work, did you make any phone calls?
Yes, I did.
Who did you call?
I called my wife to let her know that I was on my way home. Anytime I work late in the night, I always call my wife and let her know that I'm on my way home. She knows approximately how long it takes me to drive home, so it's safe for me to enter the house, so to speak.
Do you own a handgun?
Yes, I do.
And she knows how to use it.
Yes, she does.
Okay, you want to let her know you're on the way home.
Correct.
Okay. How long did it take you to get home that day, that early morning of June 6th?
In the early morning hours, driving from my workplace in Richardson to Rowlett is only about a 20 or 25-minute drive.
Okay. Anything unusual happened to you on the way home?
No.
Okay. What route did you take to get home? How did you get into that neighborhood there?
How I get into the neighborhood is come down Dalrock, which actually connects the future 190 Dalrock Road, comes across 66. Dalrock then comes to Linda Vista, which is the cross street there you saw coming from Dalrock. The first one from the north, Dalrock or Linda Vista, then enters into the subdivision. It dead ends there on Eagle. Make a right, turn on Eagle, and park right in front of my house.
Okay. Looking at the larger photograph, then you would have to come down Del Rock past the Lake Point Baptist Church. Is that right?
That's correct.
Did you see anything at the Lake Point Baptist Church when you came home?
A police officer sitting in the driveway.
Okay, and he was sitting here by Delwalk Road.
A little bit to the beyond where you can see on that picture again. It's a sign that sits down in the driveway. He was sitting here. They usually sit behind the driveway or behind the sign a little bit.
Nothing unusual about that?
No.
Okay. About what time in the morning would this have been?
This would have been probably 1:45 to 10 till 2.
Okay, 1:45 to 1:50 a.m.
Correct.
Okay, then you just turned down, is it Linda Vista?
Linda Vista Drive.
Okay. Then make a turn and come down Eagle
Correct.
and park right there in front of your house.
Correct. Right there beside that blue van that's there now.
Is that where you always park?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and looking at the larger photograph, it would be next to this blue van, is that right?
Yes.
And then you just go up the walkway in the house.
That's still you.
How many okay. How many cars were out here in this little turnaround, this little cul-de-sac that evening?
Other than my 2 vehicles, there were the only ones in that cul-de-sac.
Okay, and what kind of vehicle were you driving?
85 red Nissan pickup.
Okay, and there were no other cars in the area, is that right?
That's correct.
Where were your vehicles parked?
Directly in front of my sidewalk there, where you see the manhole cover, little dot right in the front of the sidewalk, and the van is parked approximately where it is right now.
Okay, does anyone else park out here?
They do occasionally.
Who is that?
The Neals.
Okay, your next door neighbors here at 8405.
Correct.
Okay, were there cars parked out there that morning?
No.
Okay, any cars parked out in front 5802?
No.
How about the side of the street? The right side of on the photograph. Did you see any vehicles parked out there?
No.
Okay, now once you parked and got out of your car, what did you do?
That being the time of the morning, it was fairly warm that night, fairly muggy. I stood around and kind of looked at the stars, looked around the sky. I like looking at the stars, the moon, the sky, whatever may be out that night, probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Also, going into the house that time of morning, the house is locked. So I kind of check the neighborhood, look around a little bit, and make sure that somebody is not going to follow me into the house, follow me up to the house. I'm fairly good size, but that doesn't prevent some people. I looked around, didn't see anything unusual or anything. After I had looked at my stars and whatever, I went into the house.
Where were you standing when you were just kind of standing out, relaxing, looking up at the stars and looking around the neighborhood?
Probably right beside my pickup or right in front of it.
Okay, so just right out here in the street.
No, to the left and forward.
Okay, up here by the curb.
Correct.
Okay. Did you take a look down both ends of Eagle that night?
Yes, I did.
Okay. This was your practice to do this to make sure to see if there was anyone around.
Correct.
Okay. Could you see the Routiers' home?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall if it was lit up at that time or not?
No, I do not recall. There is a fountain that you can see there in the picture just to the left of their sidewalk.
This fountain here.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it has 3 floodlights and that are on the fountain, which illuminates the front of the home and most of the area around it pretty well. There's also a street light over on the corner on our side of the street.
Here?
To the right of the van.
Okay.
Oh, you can see the pool barely there.
Okay.
I did not notice any lights out of the ordinary or unusual, no.
So the floodlights were on, but that was the usual. Is that right?
Correct.
Overall, would you describe this corner of the neighborhood as pretty well lit?
Yes.
Okay. You got a street light here by your house. The Routier home has their floodlights. Are there any other street lights along there?
There's another street light down west on Eagle, just to the left. I believe of 8313 would be the next house. I think there's a street light there at the corner.
Okay.
There's another one down this way at the stop sign on the east.
Okay, just down here.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as far as any vehicles that are parked out there, there's only your two vehicles that are in front of your house
Correct.
and nothing in front of your two neighbors here. Is that right?
That's correct.
Anything alongside of the street at all?
Not that side of the street, no.
What about in front of the Routier's home? Did you see any vehicles?
They're Pathfinder.
Okay.
It's green. I don't know what year. Pathfinder, dark green Pathfinder.
Okay.
Which was usually parked there just to the straight out area from their sidewalk.
In this area here?
Approximately there where the blue car is now, yes.
And that was the usual place it was parked?
Yes.
Okay. How many cars did the Routiers have?
Actually own, I don't know, 2 that I have seen.
Okay, 2 that you've seen. The Pathfinder?
Correct.
What other car do they have?
A Jaguar of some type.
Where is that usually parked?
Usually that's parked there in the back. Sometimes, yes, they're in the driveway. Sometimes it would be parked out front, in front of the Pathfinder.
Okay, so sometimes they were both parked out there.
Correct.
But that morning, just the Pathfinder here.
Yes, sir.
Did you notice any other unusual cars parked in front of 5717 or the other houses here?
Not that I recall, no.
So how about down the other side of Eagle? Did you take a look down there?
The 8317 home, they only own 1 car. He is a retired doctor. He only owns 1 car and always parks it in the garage. So there's never any cars, hardly ever in front of their house. 8313 again, they park in the back. The red car that you see there, just part of in that picture, that car's there most of the time. So I believe it was there that night also. Other than that, those are about the only cars that park on the street. Everybody else uses their driveways or garages.
Okay. Anything else? Any cars parked on the side of the Routier's home?
No.
Or down here alongside of the street?
No.
Okay. And while you were out there for what you would say 5 minutes or so,
Maybe 5 minutes, yes.
did you see anyone walking around?
No, nothing unusual.
Hear any unusual noises?
No.
Okay. And this was, you got home around about 1:50 or so.
1:50, quarter till 2.
Okay. Then you go into the house, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. I guess you safely made it in the house with your wife knowing you were coming home.
Correct.
Okay. And where was your wife located?
In the bedroom upstairs.
Okay. Where is your bedroom located at in the house?
In the picture there, you see the sidewalk going up to the house. There are 2 windows to the left of that sidewalk. That's the first floor. The second floor is cut off.
Right here?
Yes, the master bedroom is located above these 2 windows, or those 2 windows.
Okay. So your windows, do they face the Routier's home?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And do you recall how long it took you to get upstairs and into your bedroom?
I came in, locked the door, turned on the alarm system, checked the other doors and windows downstairs, got a drink, put my things up for the night, and went upstairs. It was probably in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. You have an alarm system there in your house?
Yes, I do.
Who installed that?
I did.
Okay. You turned that on.
Yes.
Okay. Is that your usual practice?
Yes, it is.
And you also secured the rest of the downstairs.
Yes.
Okay, so give us your best estimate as to when you got upstairs into the bedroom.
Estimate of time, probably sometime 5 after 2 to 10 after 2.
Okay, and does it take you long to get into bed?
No.
Okay, now, Mr. Gorge, was your windows up or down that evening?
It was a warm evening, and my wife and I don't care for air conditioning very much, so we have our windows open most of the time. They were open that evening, yes.
Okay, so it's not unusual for you to not run the air conditioner in the evening.
No,
And it wasn't running that night.
no,
Okay, window was open.
yes,
Okay. Do you have any problem hearing noises with that window open there?
no.
Okay.
The design of the area, the houses are kind of in an arc as well as with the wind. There's usually a pretty good wind that comes directly up the street. It's usually very quiet at that time of the morning. So noises are not a problem. No.
Okay. And then did you try to go to sleep?
Yes, I did.
About what time would it have been then when you tried to go to sleep?
Again, probably 10 after, 15 after 2, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay. And were you able to go to sleep?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did something wake you up soon after that?
Yes.
Okay. What time was that you were awakened?
The first time that I was awoken, I really don't know. I did not look at the clock. It didn't break my sleep completely. I felt something, a noise of some kind that did wake me up.
What noise do you know?
I do not know. A loud noise of some type. Again, it's if you hear something in the dark or the night, you hear it only once and you're asleep or trying to go to sleep. It's hard to tell what the noise was. All you know is it was a noise.
Okay.
I don't know what time that was. It was sometime after I tried to go to sleep or after I did go to sleep and it woke me up. A short time thereafter, I was awoken again though, and this time it was a full awakening.
Okay. And what woke you at that time?
What woke me up at that time was Darren. Darren Routier running from the front of the home down the sidewalk, yelling that someone has stabbed my children or my kids and my wife.
Okay. Someone has stabbed my children and my wife.
Yes,
Is that your best recollection of what he was yelling?
that is my best recollection. Yes.
Okay. And tell the jurors how he was yelling. Was he very loudly? Oh, sorry.
Very loudly, almost broadcasting it to the neighborhood as a danger. You know, he wanted somebody to hear him.
Okay. And you had no trouble hearing.
No.
Okay. When you heard that, what did you do?
I immediately sat up in bed, and naturally, when you hear something like that, you're going to listen to see what's going on. I immediately sat up in bed, and as I sat up in bed, I have a water bed that sits up fairly high. I can look directly out the window, directly down, and I saw Darren approximately even with the fountain.
Okay. Do you recall what he was wearing?
I recall it was blue jeans, I believe, only.
Okay. Just blue jeans?
Yes.
Okay. And was he standing near the fountain?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he was running near the fountain. He wasn't standing.
Okay. Did you see anyone else out there?
Yes, I did.
Who did you see?
I saw a policeman coming up over the bank. As I leaned up in bed, I could look out the window and see pretty good picture, a pretty good view of the street. There's a police car sitting a little bit ahead of where the car is there now.
Okay, let me get you, if we could, with the court's permission, if we could have the jurors step down for a moment.
All right, that's fine. Maybe you can use the pointer, Mr. Shook.
Okay.
If you will just wait a minute for everyone to find a position around there. Okay, can the jury all see that? Okay.
Okay. Mr. Gorch, if you can step over here to the side.
Okay.
And again, on the photograph, point to the area that you first saw Darren Routier.
Okay. Darren Routier was approximately in this area. There was a police squad car parked away from the curb a little bit in this area, a little bit ahead of the direct front line of the home.
Which is?
Parked close to the front. He was actually parked around to the side about in this area.
Okay. And which way was he pointed?
He was pointed west.
Okay. Did you see a police officer out in that area?
Yes, I did. He was approximately in this area. There's a small bank here, It comes up from the sidewalk into the yard. It runs approximately around in about this area. He was already up over the side of that bank and was coming up about in this area here. At the corner of the house, whenever I sat up in bed. Oh, yeah, at the corner of the house when I sat up in bed. Okay.
Okay. That's the first thing you see when you look out.
Correct.
Okay. What was the next thing you saw happen?
The next thing I saw happen was Darren stopped about in this area. He came around between the fountain and the house and met the police officer in this area. They both came back between the house and the fountain and then went into the house.
Okay. Now, did you hear anything said between Darren and the police officer at that time?
I heard something said, but I could not understand what was said.
Okay. And then they go into the house.
Yes.
Okay. What do you do at that time?
I got out of bed. My wife was awake at that time. She heard basically the same thing. So she and I both got out of bed. We kind of went to the window and looked, of course, to see what was going on. At that time, all we could see was a police car sitting here.
Okay. Did you look around the street to see if you could see anything else?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you see anything else there in the neighborhood?
No, nothing in this area other than what I've already described. My pickup, the Pathfinder here, my van here, the police car here.
Okay. So there's your two cars in front of your house.
Yes.
Now, the police car is parked here,
Yes.
and the Routier Pathfinder is in front of their house.
Yes.
Are there any other cars out there that you see?
No.
Any other cars at your neighbors here at 5802 or anything like that?
No.
Okay. What's the next thing that you saw?
The next thing I saw were the police officer and Darren come back out of the house.
Okay.
The police officer and Darren then, the police officer basically told Darren to go find somebody else in the neighborhood. Ask him if there was somebody else. Darren said yes. Darren came across the street, went to the Neal's house, and beat on their door.
Okay. Now, did another police officer arrive soon after that other officer?
Yes.
Okay. Where was his car located?
It was parked somewhere in this area here. He had pulled up and stopped fairly quickly, somewhere out here in the middle of this area.
Okay. And where did he go?
He went to the house also.
Okay. Now, you didn't have a stopwatch on or anything, did you?
No.
Okay. Do you know how long it took this other officer to arrive on the scene?
No, I don't.
Okay. But another officer pulled up soon thereafter.
Very soon thereafter.
When Darren Routier emerged from the house again, was this other police officer there also?
Not yet.
Okay, did he arrive soon after that?
Yes,
Okay, and you're observing this from your bedroom window, is that right?
that's correct.
Okay, what's the next thing you remember happening?
The next thing I recall happening was when Darren was here beating on the Neal's door with the second officer arriving, and what I had already heard, it occurred to me, that maybe there's somebody around that I need to find for them or to look to see if there is anybody. My house has windows across the back of it on the second story, as well as the one on the west side. I had a pretty good view of everything in the alley. There's a large fence that runs between our property here and the church. I can see the alley several houses down to the west. I can see across the church parking lot through the fence or over the fence. The fence is approximately a 9-foot fence, so it's pretty hard to scale. I can also see the alley going this way for probably about down to the corner here. I immediately went and looked out that after I didn't see anybody there, I went back to my bedroom, picked up my pistol, and went downstairs.
Okay, and again, were you timing that, how long it took to look out the windows and that sort of thing?
No,
Okay, when you last heard and looked, Darren was next door beating on the door, is that right?
that's correct.
And you said the Neals lived there.
The Neals live there. Terry and Karen.
That's Terry and Karen Neal.
Yes.
And those are close friends of the Routiers in the neighborhood.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. You went outside your home, is that right?
That's correct. After I went downstairs, I turned off the alarm system, came out the front door. I have 2 large cut pillars here with an archway above my door, and I stood approximately here to this of the door beside the pillar.
Okay. Once you got outside of the house, had some more cars arrived on the scene?
Yes.
Okay. What cars were those?
They were some more police officers and an ambulance. There's an ambulance approximately right here.
Okay.
There was another ambulance that came and parked in this area with a police car behind it. The ambulance was just in front of the Pathfinder. The police car was back in this area. There were starting to be more and more cars. There's also a MCU fire truck that came and parked in this area. There were fire response vehicles, ambulances, and police cars. How many and where exactly, it's hard to keep track.
Okay.
From the time before this ambulance arrived here, though, there was a car that came into this area. It was a dark colored car, older model, Cutlass, I believe it was. It had some younger people in it, and the police officer that had come in this car was over here. They came across and stopped this vehicle.
Okay. That's the second officer that arrived on the scene?
Yes. The second officer was actually the one that I do not believe he actually made it to the house yet.
Okay.
When he stopped the vehicle, the other officer came out as well. The ambulance came during that time frame. The car here was stopped. The individuals in the car, I believe there were 4 of them, they got the individuals out at gunpoint and basically spread eagle on the car.
Okay. So this other car you saw, was that the first car that you saw moving that was not a police vehicle or an ambulance or a fire truck?
Yes.
Okay. And were you downstairs when you observed this car come by your house?
Yes.
The police officers immediately stopped that
Yes.
and take the people out by gunpoint.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see them do anything to the car at the time?
They searched the car interior as well as trunk. While they had the people out of the car, they questioned the people. It looked like they were looking at licenses, IDs, things like that.
Did they also search those individuals?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Did they let those people go on their way?
Yes, they did after a period of time.
Okay. And you're observing all of this all from your porch, I take it.
Yes.
Okay. Where was Darren Routier at this time?
Darren was coming back from across the street before, or was it right after? Actually, this car was stopped. He was still over there with Terry and Karen. Terry came out of the house first with Darren and came back across the street. Karen came out afterwards.
Okay. It took Terry evidently a while to get out of bed once he was awakened.
Yes.
He was the first out, though.
Yes.
Okay. Had the paramedics gone into the house at the time?
Yes. Oh, as Terry and Darren were coming across the street, the paramedics again did arrive, and they were coming into the house at that time. Yes.
Okay. What's the next thing that you observed?
The next thing I observed was once Terry and Darren came across the street, they came up to the front of the house. There was another officer that had arrived at that time also. He was there in the front of the house also. He was watching what was going on here. He was here. Darren and Terry came across the street. Karen came out shortly thereafter. I think before Terry and Darren even entered the home. Karen came out and came across the street also. They waited and 3 of them entered the home.
Okay. And how long were Terry and Karen in that home?
I'm not real sure. It was a short period of time.
Okay. Again, you didn't have a stopwatch on it,
No.
but it was a short period of time.
Yes.
And did they leave with anyone at the time? Did you see anyone leave when they left the house? Were they with anyone?
They were with a police officer, yes.
Okay. Could you describe how they left the house?
They were basically being escorted. It was a police officer, I think, and possibly a paramedic, I think.
Okay.
It was either a paramedic or a police officer. Again, it was somebody in uniform.
Okay. And they
were both on the scene at that time.
They weren't physically throwing them out.
No, they were helping them almost.
Okay.
It was more of a help escort than a forcible escort.
But it was a short period of time that they were in there.
Yes.
Okay. What's the next thing that you observed? Did you observe anyone else coming out of the house after that?
After that period of time, other than the police officers, no.
Okay. What about any of the children?
It was a period of time, again. Exactly how long, I don't know. The smallest one, to be honest with you, I never could keep their names straight. Devin and Damon, you always saw them in pairs. So it was just always Devin and Damon. I don't know which one it was. It was the smallest one was brought out through this area and placed in this ambulance with 2 paramedics.
Okay. And did you see Darlie Routier being brought out?
Not at that time.
Okay. Sometime later, was she brought out?
She was brought out and she was placed in an ambulance here behind the second ambulance.
Okay. Did more police officers continue to arrive upon the scene?
Definitely.
Okay. Did neighbors start to come out and gather around?
Yes, they did. Neighbors from basically all over the neighborhood came and started gathering, basically in this area as well as this area here.
Okay. Why were they gathering across the street here?
The gathering was kind of controlled by the police and their tape. There was a taped area and it went kind of from this area up and across through this light pole, through these mailboxes, and down through this area to this corner of this house, somewhere in that vicinity. Exactly where the tape was, I don't recall. It was in 2 or 3 different places.
Are you talking about the yellow police tape?
Yes.
Okay. So it stretched actually across the street and went along the other side of the street. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Did it enclose your cars?
Yes, it did.
Okay. How quickly did the police put that particular tape up?
It was up very quick. When the ambulance here that had the smallest child and it had first pulled out, it was almost as soon as it pulled out, the tape went up.
Okay.
They had to actually lift the tape up to allow the second ambulance out.
Okay. And you said the neighbors gathered. They gathered on the other side of the tape?
Yes, in this area behind the tape.
Okay. Were any of the neighbors allowed to go beyond that tape?
No.
From your observation, did the police keep everyone out from outside of the tape?
Most definitely.
Even before the tape was up, did you observe the police officers' actions as far as letting people on the property, things like that?
As far as the police officers themselves were the only ones, other than Terry and Karen, that I saw try to enter the property, and Darren.
Okay.
Other than that, I saw no one else attempting to even enter the property.
Okay. So the only persons you saw go in the house were Darren and Karen and Terry.
Well, the paramedics and the police officers.
The paramedics and the police officers?
Correct.
By the time you saw Karen and Terry go in, they were in just a short time.
Correct.
Where they went, do you have any idea?
I don't have any idea. From what Karen said, whenever she came back out, the assumption is that she did go into the area where the boys were. She did describe it to a little bit of detail, not much. She is a nurse. She's a registered nurse. She knew the paramedics. They knew her. Somehow, through the confusion that went when she came over, she was confused and she thought that she was supposed to help. So she did attempt to help.
Okay, but she was in there resuscitating these boys. But was she in there resuscitating these boys or anything like that?
No, they turned around to follow or to walk back to the area, I guess. From what she said, just from what she had told me, that she went to the area, but they wouldn't let her do anything. That's when they escorted her and Terry back out. So again, it was a very few minutes that they actually occurred.
Okay, so steps in, goes in, but doesn't help and is escorted out.
Correct.
Okay. And from that short time you saw them enter and come back out, would that be consistent with what you saw there? She was not in there a long time?
Correct.
Okay. Did you see anyone else, any other civilians, anyone else other than police and paramedics then go into that house?
No.
Okay. And then after they had the scene tied off, did you see any other police officers going inside that house?
No.
Okay. Even before the tape was up, did the officers have this area shut down pretty good?
Yeah, they had the area shut down pretty well. This entire area down through here was choked with emergency vehicles, fire trucks, police cars, ambulances here, police car. There was another police car up in this area. There was a car that did try to come from the west direction, but it was stopped, backed up, and went down that Allen Street. There wasn't really any way anybody could go through this area
Okay.
via a vehicle.
All right. The only other car you saw other than an emergency vehicle was the first car the police stopped.
That's correct.
Okay. And when you first woke up on hearing Darren Routier saying, someone stabbed my wife and my kids, you looked out. Did you see any other vehicle other than the ones that you've described?
No.
One police officer and then the Routier's vehicle and your 2 cars.
Correct.
No other vehicle.
Correct.
Okay. From that time on, did you pretty much stay out in this area?
Basically stayed up here in this area. I didn't venture too far out from the house. The only reason was I still had my pistol in my hand. With the shock of what was going on and everything, it didn't dawn on me till the last minute that there's police cars all over the place here, and I'm standing in the front of my house with a gun in my hand.
Wow. Not too safe a thing to do.
No, it wasn't too smart, but again, I was in shock. I didn't understand what was going on, really. Once I realized that I went back directly inside the door at some point, put the gun back on my file cabinet in the top drawer, and came back out the door. From that point forward, I was in the front of my house, down my sidewalk, back to the front of my house. I was outside from that point on until probably 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Where was Darren Routier?
Darren, most of the time, was escorted basically by Terry over and sat here in this area at the end of the sidewalk at the Neals. During the whole time of them bringing the smallest child out, bringing Darlie out, he was in this area and was allowed to escort across by the police officers once Darlie was started being brought out.
Okay. Did he go to the ambulance area at that time?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And did someone eventually take him away from the scene?
Yes, they did.
Who was that?
Terry Neal.
Okay. The neighbor again there at 8405?
Yes.
That's the one he woke up.
Yes.
Okay. And whose vehicle did they leave in?
The Routier's Pathfinder.
Okay. And who was driving?
Terry.
Did you see an officer out there with a dog?
Yes, I did. The Garland Canine Unit. Oh, sorry. Arrived at some time and it was parked down in this area. So exactly when they arrived, I don't know. They did a search with the dog around in this area in the front of the home, down the alley, down the side, as well as in between the homes. They really didn't go across the midpoint of the street anywhere. They searched this area both back and behind and in front of the home. That's about it.
Okay, so you saw him out front and then you saw him go up behind the home.
Yes.
Okay. And again, I guess a crowd was gathering there on the outside of the tape?
Yes.
Okay. You can go ahead and have a seat there.
Okay, so on the record, okay, we'll just skip that. Right? Because what does that say? Whereupon the witness resumed the witness stand and the proceedings were resumed on the record as follows. Okay.
Okay. So it's clear, were you able to determine what time it was when you woke up with Darren yelling?
It was approximately 2:40.
Okay.
I have a clock, an alarm clock beside the bed, and as I recall, it was around 2:40.
Okay. Did you look at the clock when you woke up?
Yes.
At 2:40 in the morning?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the Routiers have an infant son. Do you know what his name is?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did somebody take that baby out of the house sometime during the morning?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
The police officers took it out of the bedroom somewhere. That's where Karen said they took the baby from and gave it to Karen.
Okay. And they took it out of the residence and they gave it to Karen. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Eventually, did you or your wife take custody of the baby sometime that morning?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And in fact, did y'all care for that baby later on through the day?
Yes, we did.
How long did y'all have that baby there?
We had the baby probably around 11 a.m. until maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Did the police ever get anyone to help them retrieve the Routier's dog from the house?
Yes, they did. Karen again, who knew the inside of the home as well as the pet. A police officer, from what Karen said, also was that a police officer had almost been bitten by the dog at some point. The dog was in the home and they wanted the dog out. They were afraid to do anything with the dog and they wanted to know if anybody thought they could get it. So again, they allowed Karen to go in the home and retrieve the dog.
Okay. Did she go in there by herself or was she escorted into the house?
She was escorted.
How many police officers?
2
Okay. And how long were they in the house?
minutes, very few minutes.
Okay. Do you know where they went in the house?
No, not for sure.
Okay. But did Karen emerge with the dog soon after that?
Yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. We'll pass for cross-examination.
Mr. Mulder? Okay, so now you got to be the witness. I want to be Mr. Mulder. You
Yeah.
do
All right.
Are you doing all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you're doing great. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so now she's basically who I was just playing, the witness, but I'm going to be Mulder. Remember, now we can picture who this mad dog Mulder is. This is him, guys. That's me. Okay. Yes, sir. Mr. Gore. Wait, how do you say that again? How were you saying that?
Gorsuch.
Gorsuch. Okay.
Gorsuch. Yeah.
Gorsuch. Oh, okay. So I was saying it right. Yours just sound different when you said it. I was like, man, I was saying it wrong, but okay, I was saying Gorsuch. Okay. Yes, sir. Mr. Gore, is it Gorsuch?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Gorsuch, just a thing or two. Gosh, have you made any notes?
No, I have not.
You didn't need to make any notes about this?
No, it was pretty well fixed in my mind whenever I saw it.
When was the first time you were contacted by the police?
That morning, it was approximately 7 o'clock.
Do you remember who the police officer was that contacted you? Oh, sorry.
No, I do not. I didn't ask his name.
What did he look like?
He was in a blue uniform. That's all I can recall.
That's the best you can do?
By 6 o'clock in the morning, that's the best I can do. Yes, sir.
So it was a male?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And I guess you told him basically what you have told the jurors?
Yes, I did.
And gosh, that must have taken you some time.
It did.
Okay.
He interviewed me, both my wife and I.
Okay. I assume he took notes?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Would you recognize him if you were to see him again?
Probably not.
Okay. Did you notice what he was writing down?
No, I did not pay attention to what he was writing.
Did he seem to be taking voluminous notes or was he noting things appropriately?
I felt like he was noting things appropriately. Probably yes.
But you say you saw him making some notes as you went along.
Yes.
Okay. About how long did you visit with him?
15 to 20 minutes, probably.
Okay. And told him basically the same thing that you told the folks here.
Basically, yes. To the extent, no.
Well, now I kind of got lost in the dialogue there, but as best as I recall, you had to go to work and you left the office, and I think you left at 1:25 and you called your wife again as you explained to us why, and you made it home. I think you said you were home. I think the prosecutor said 1:50 and you said 1:45.
Between 145 and 150, that's correct.
All right. And then you did the business with the stars and the moon and went on in and checked the windows and turned on the alarm that you had installed and went up to the bed?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now you were first awakened And like you said, you didn't understand what the noise was, but apparently you drifted back off to sleep.
Correct.
And then we're awakened. What awakened you the second time? Do you know?
Darren yelling.
Okay. And is that when you looked at the clock?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sometimes I'll set my clock a little bit fast just so that hopefully I get where I'm supposed to be on time. Do you set yours right? Oh, I bet you set yours right on the money, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So it was 2:40 you're telling us?
Yes,
A guy like you would keep an accurate clock, wouldn't he?
I suppose so. Yes.
All right. And you're telling this jury that it was 2:40 when Darren started to yell.
Correct.
And I believe you said that he was going down there. This is the walk to his front door, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And the police officers had pulled up here just down from you. Can you see that?
Uh-huh.
I think you better turn it a little more, Mr. Mulder, so those two end jurors can see it. All right. I believe you said the police car went right here.
No.
I'm sorry?
Back a little bit.
Here.
Almost a full car length in front of where the car is shown there in the picture.
Here?
Yes, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay. But more in front of your neighbor's house than in front of your house.
No, not really. The neighbor's house there you can see in. It was actually almost sitting directly on our property line. There is a white line there in the picture.
Yeah?
That's the mow line between his and my house, and always keep the grass dead for some reason. The car was parked almost even with that line, somewhere in that vicinity, almost right there by that mailbox.
The back or the front?
The back or front of the car?
Squad car, yes, if you remember.
About the middle, actually.
About the middle?
Whenever I make a reference, it's usually the middle of the vehicle.
All right, fair enough. And it was headed in this direction?
West, correct.
Right. Going this way?
Yes.
Okay. Was it parked up close to the curb?
No.
About how far was it from the curb?
3 feet, 4 feet.
All right. And did you see the police officer actually get out?
I didn't see the police officer get out of the car. By the time I heard Darren yelling, the police officer was already across the street and was going up the small embankment there by their home, right there where your finger is from the sidewalk.
Okay. And he and Darren met
Yes.
on the sidewalk.
No, basically a little bit to the move your finger. Okay. If you look at the fountain and the house, draw a direct line between them. The corner of the house about halfway in between.
Oh, and here?
About in there.
Okay. They met there and then went directly into the house?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how long were they in the house before the next thing that attracted your attention happened? Did they come out of the house or did another car come up or what?
They weren't in the house very long. They were in the house for a while.
Okay.
Minutes again. I don't know.
Okay. Would you say a couple minutes maybe?
Probably longer than that. Probably 3.
About the time it took you to look at the stars, 5 minutes?
3 to 4, 5, somewhere in that vicinity. Again, I don't know for sure.
All right.
I don't
By this time, no other car is there yet.
know.
Okay. So both of them came out. Is that right?
Correct.
Came out together.
Yes.
And no other police cars or ambulance or anything like that yet.
Not yet.
Okay. They've been inside for 5 minutes doing, of course, you have no idea of knowing what they've been doing in there.
No, I don't.
All right. But anyway, they came out together 5 minutes later. And where did they go?
They were eventually at the front door, and the officer asked Darren if he had somewhere in the neighborhood that he could go.
You heard him ask that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you're in your perch up there on the second floor in your bedroom on the waterbed?
Yes.
Where you can look out?
Yes.
Okay. And you heard him ask Darren, is there somebody in the neighborhood from whom you can get some assistance?
Yes.
Medical help?
No.
All right, just assistance.
Just assistance.
And he said there's a nurse across the street.
No.
He said what?
He basically asked Darren if there was a friend in the neighborhood that he could go to, and Darren said yes.
And you heard this dialogue between them?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And where did Darren go?
Darren went to 8405 Eagle.
All right. And that's the nurse?
The Neils, yes.
And she's a registered nurse.
She is, yes.
Okay. Where did the police officer go?
He went back in the house.
Okay. No other ambulances or police cars or anything at that point?
Not at that point.
Now, looking at your clock, it's now 2:45 and then some.
I don't know.
Okay.
Again, I didn't look at my clock at that point.
All right.
From that point forward, I didn't pay any attention to time.
Does he make it over to the Neil's house before anything else happens?
Yes.
Okay, so he's in the Neil's house and there are no other police officers here or ambulances or anything else.
I don't recall whether he went in the house or not. I know he was beating on the door.
Okay.
Whether he entered the Neil home or not, I don't know.
What was he saying?
I did not hear that conversation.
Okay. And you don't know, was he saying something? Was he saying help or something like that?
I did not hear the conversation.
But you could hear him banging on the door.
Very well, yes.
Okay. How long was it before he started back across the way with the Neils?
Minute-wise, again, a few minutes. By that time, the second officer had arrived and parked there in front of 5802.
Okay. What had this officer done?
He was already back in the house.
He had gone back in the house?
Correct.
And then the second officer parked in front of 5802 over here.
Yes.
Okay. And that would be the retired couple?
The retired couple. I don't know their names.
All right. And the police officer parked in that area.
Yes.
Do you remember how he was parked there?
Kind of northeast. He was pulled in at an angle.
So he would be headed in this direction?
No, northeast, headed the other direction.
This way?
Yes. The top of the map is north. Northeast would be about 45 degrees pointed in the opposites of, there you go, right there.
All right. So had he come from this direction, he pulled in there.
It appeared that he had, yes.
Did you see him as he was coming down here?
No, he arrived as I was coming back to the window.
Okay. All right. Did you see him get out of his vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And where did he go?
He started across the street.
In the direction of this residence?
Yes.
Okay. Where was Darren knocking on the door at that time?
Darren was waiting at the door.
Okay.
Apparently, he was waiting for Terry.
All right. He would just be a stone's throw from where the police officer pulled his squad car up. Would that be about the distance from here to the back of the courtroom, wouldn't it?
Well, most of those homes are 25 to 30 feet off of the sidewalk line by their roulette ordinance. So that would probably be about 40 to 50 feet. Yeah. Yes.
All right. So did he make it over to this house before Darren left the Neil house?
No, he did not.
All right. What happened?
The officer actually started over toward the house, as I recall. This is whenever I was coming out the front door.
All right.
And standing by my column there at my house, the officer had...
Is that where you were?
Excuse me?
That's where you were, right here?
That's correct.
All right.
The officer had possibly entered the home and come back out and had not entered the home yet.
Which officer?
exactly which one, the second officer to arrive, I believe.
Okay. So he either entered this house and come back out before Darren and the Neils got over there.
Terry, Neil, yes.
Okay.
Both Neils did not come together.
Okay. Terry was first, wasn't he?
Terry was first.
Okay. And I want to make sure I understand you. This officer who parked over here, the second officer to arrive made it into the house and back out of the house.
I said I think he might have. I don't know for sure. Again, I was in the process of going down my stairs.
Okay.
Whenever I came out the door, this car had come from the west and was being stopped by two police officers. There's another officer that had arrived down beyond Eagle Drive there, down below. Those two officers, I believe, were the two that stopped the car. Again, which two officers they were, I don't know. They were in blue uniforms.
All right. You don't know whether it was the same two officers who had originally.
No.
Okay. Whereas I'm interested in this officer over here that stopped here.
Okay.
Okay. He was the one who was pulling up when you came back to your vantage point there at your house.
Well, he had already pulled up. He was stopped.
But he was getting out of the vehicle.
Yes.
All right. Was he hurrying toward the house?
He was not running, I mean, a police officer carrying a gun and a full belt and everything, they don't run real fast. He was moving quickly, yes.
Moving in a fast walk.
Yes.
Okay. And again, where was Terry Neal?
Terry and Darwin again were at the front of the house or front of the home.
At the front of the Neal home here?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he had a head start on them heading toward the Routier house, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
It makes sense that he would arrive there first.
I would assume.
Okay. And when did Darren Routier get back to his house, if he did?
After the car was stopped.
After the car was stopped over here?
Approximately in that area, yes. Right there where your finger is.
All right. Somewhere in that vicinity. Oh, sorry. All right. Sorry. All right. Go
It's all right. Somewhere in that vicinity.
So after the car was stopped here in this vicinity, this is the little Cutlass I think you said it was.
I believe it was a Cutlass. It was a dark car of some type. It looked like a Cutlass or that body style. It was an older late model car. Older late
model?
Older car, early model, pardon me.
Okay. Would you venture a guess as to, 85 or 86, something like that? Is that what you are talking about?
I would say probably late 70s or early 80s. It was a smaller body style, like a Cutlass.
Okay. Could you see the people that got out of the vehicle? I think you said the police had them all out spread eagle.
Yes.
Okay. And gosh, by now it's got to be, by your count, 250, 255?
Again, I wasn't looking at the clock. I don't know.
Well, would you imagine?
Somewhere in that vicinity, probably.
It was at least pushing 3 o'clock, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Probably.
Okay.
Again, I don't know.
All right. But we do know this, that Darren has left and he has not come back in, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So they get these people stopped. How many were in the car, as you best recall?
As best I recall, 4.
All right. And were they all men?
As I recall, yes.
All men. Okay.
From my distance, about 50 feet, they looked like men, young men.
Okay. Could you tell about how old they were?
Late teens, probably.
Could you describe them?
No.
You could just tell that they were men.
Yeah, I could tell that they were men.
Do you know whether they were black or white, long hair or short hair, anything like that?
I believe they were all Caucasian, yes.
Do you remember how they were dressed?
No.
Okay. Did they have just long pants on, I guess?
I believe they had jeans on, probably again. I don't recall.
I'm going to make this one more bigger. I was looked over at the screen and it kind of, okay. Where are we? Where are we? Hold on. Okay.
21.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
welcome.
And however long it took to check them out, the police checked them out and they let them go, right?
Correct.
All right. And they drove on. And was it then that Darren came back to the residence here?
It was actually during the time that they had stopped them
During
or
the
had them
time
stopped.
during the time
Sorry.
that they had them stop, Darren came back to the residence.
Darren and Terry came across the street
And did
and entered into the residence. Yes.
and I believe you said that Mr. Neal actually he was ahead of Darren, wasn't he? Didn't you say?
No, I don't believe I did say that.
Okay. Was Karen behind him?
Karen was behind them. Yes.
Okay. They came over. Did Terry and Darren go into the residence?
No, not yet. They waited for Karen.
Okay. And I guess Karen came along shortly.
Yes.
By now it's got to be 3:00. Is that fair to say?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. And all three of them went in together.
Yes.
Okay. How long was it before they came out?
Again, minutes.
A couple of minutes?
Couple of minutes, 3 minutes, maybe if that long.
All right. Did all three of them come out?
Yes, they did.
All right. And where did they?
They were escorted out, actually. They didn't come out under their own power.
Okay. The police escorted them out.
It was actually an ambulance crew that had arrived while the car was being stopped.
Okay. So the first ambulance crew that arrived while this car was being stopped here?
Yes.
All right. You're sure about that?
Yes.
Okay. You're sure that there wasn't an ambulance crew that came up at the same time that this officer did?
No.
All right.
If it was the same time, it was very close to the same time, but it was after.
All right. Well, wait a minute now. When I asked you if he went in the house the second time, you were talking about the police officer from here?
Again, I assume he went into the home. I don't know for sure.
Okay. And you said that then some police officers stopped a car here.
Further around the corner.
Right here.
Further around the corner.
Right here.
Further around the corner.
Here.
Approximately in that area.
Okay. Stop them here.
Yes.
Got them out of the car, frisked them, and threw them up against the car, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay. And then let them go on their way, right?
Yes.
And then the ambulance arrived.
No. The ambulance arrived while the car was stopped.
While the car was stopped?
Correct.
Okay. And how many people was that, the first ambulance to arrive?
Yes.
And where did it park?
Almost directly across the street from the police car.
Which police car? Oh, this one here? Sorry.
You're good. Yes.
So they parked along here.
Yes. Out from the curb again.
All right. How many attendants in that ambulance?
2, I believe.
Okay. Do you know about how far it is from the 5,000 block of Highway 66 to your house?
The 5,000 block of 66.
Uh-huh.
If you cut across the church parking lot.
Yeah.
In a direct line, in other words.
Right.
Is that your question?
Yes.
In a direct line, probably less than a half mile.
Less than a half mile. It wouldn't take you very long at that time of night to cover that much ground, would it?
No.
What, maybe a minute?
Probably a minute, 2 minutes, depending upon your gait.
Well, I'm talking about if you were in a car. I mean, if you were going 60 miles an hour, you could cover a half mile in how long?
Well, I don't have a calculator on me. I don't know.
Half a minute?
Very quick.
And it might take a little longer if you're going 30. But police officers don't drive 30 when they're in a hurry, do they?
No.
Okay. Did Darren ever go back in after he was escorted out?
No. No one went back in the home.
Except
Except,
sorry.
except for officers, paramedics. Once Karen, Terry, and Darren were escorted out, Darren was asked to go over and sit on the end of the sidewalk in front of Neil's house with Terry and Karen. No one went back in the home except for Karen whenever she got the dog. And that was between, like I said, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock that morning. It was after sunrise.
Okay. While you were standing out there, I guess other neighbors were gathering around, were they?
After a period of time, not real soon.
Did you see the Watts, the folks right here talking to the police?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you see the police officers writing down what they were saying or appear to be writing down, taking notes of what they were saying?
Well, it wasn't actually the Watts. It was actually Mrs. Watts that talked to the police officer.
Mrs. Watts talked to the police officer?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as far as, is this your van?
Yes, it is.
In addition to that, you've got a red Nissan.
Correct.
Pickup truck.
Yes.
And you're telling us that, to the best of your recollection, that the Nissan was parked here too that night.
To the best of my recollection, that's where I always park.
All right. Are you telling us that you parked it there that night, or do you remember it because that's the way you always did things?
No, that's where I parked that night.
Okay.
There was nothing to prevent me from parking there that night. That's where I always park it, and that's where I park it at that night.
Okay. And Darren kept his car parked along here, didn't he?
This Pathfinder right at the end of the sidewalk or thereabouts.
And he kind of did that to slow people down coming through the neighborhood. Wasn't that discussed among your neighbors? Speed bumps or something, that he would keep his car parked there because the kids were out running around and he didn't want people driving fast.
It would make a good deterrent. I don't know whether that was ever discussed with myself or not. Not that I recall. Speed bumps were discussed at one point. The city will not use them.
There was even some talk about Darren putting some out there himself, wasn't there?
That I don't know. It was not to me.
Okay. Your boys would go over and play with the Routier children in their home?
Yes.
And you were comfortable with that, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay. I believe that's all. Thank you, Mr. Gorsuch. Mr. Shook. So now we'll go back and then you'll be Mr. Shook. I'm going to be Mr. Gorsuch now. Go ahead.
Okay. Just a couple more questions, Judge. Mr. Gorsuch, talking about the speed bumps, did you yourself have some concerns about the street there and cars going by?
Yes, quite often.
And what was your concern?
The concern is it's kind of a blind corner because of the way the corner is fairly sharp. Very sharp there. You have a long street that leads to the west and a long street that leads to the south. And people, in one of the photographs there, you can see black marks that are very evident in the pavement there. It's not uncommon for people to squeal their tires when they round the corner. With my children, as well as the Routier children, it was always a concern of almost everybody in the neighborhood of that corner that the children, when they play, they don't pay attention to streets or sidewalks.
Okay.
There were a lot of times when there were some near misses.
Near misses with who?
Children.
Okay. What about the Routier children in general? Did a situation ever come out there where cars had to brake for them?
I'm sure they did, yes.
Okay. Did you give specific instructions to your son not to go out there?
Most definitely. My son catches the worst in most ends. Whether he's involved with it or not, he's always gets a lecture on whatever happened.
Were you ever out there when these cars almost hit the Routier children?
Not directly, no.
Okay. You heard about that?
Yes.
Did you ever see the Routiers out there supervising their children?
Supervising?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Now, as far as this incident that occurred, nothing like this had ever happened in the neighborhood before, had it?
I don't understand the question.
Is this something just totally out of the ordinary as far as someone being or a murder like this occurring in your neighborhood?
It's out of the ordinary for Rowlett.
Okay.
Period.
Do you feel you have a pretty safe neighborhood there?
I believe so, yes.
And as far as describing who went in the Routier house or how long they were in there, you didn't have a stopwatch on any of these things. Is that correct?
No, after getting kind of adjusted to what happened and what was going on, of course, I mean, it's immediate shock. As I said, the time frames become very convoluted at that point. It then becomes very hard to keep track of time. There are some things, though, that you can't wipe from your mind.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
We have nothing further at this time. All right, you may step down, sir. Thank you.
May this witness be excused?
May this witness be excused? Yes, sir. Subject to recall. Subject to recall, yes. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're going to adjourn now until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Same instructions as always. And then, you know, the instructions, you can't talk. We already said them last time. We won't repeat all those. Okay, so let's see. Spectating obvious. Where about the court? Okay. So we're just I want to see who's the next person just so we could kind of. Well, I mean, this is where we
Preston Douglas Jr., I think.
Where do you see it?
The name.
This. See, they're continuing. I might have to click on another one, but this is continuing. I think just between like the. Oh, that's Mosty. Wow, I have all of this. It's like, oh, Preston. Those are all of the. Oh, those are all the defenses. Mm-hmm. So I would have to read them all. I don't know. It's the court. I mean, how are you doing, Libra?
I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this next part, this is just leading up to the next witness. So I don't know. I'm trying to like read it, see if it's important. Because I'm Mulder. This is the defense. The Preston Douglas is the defense. Richard Mosty is the defense. So this would all be me, but I'm trying to see what it's saying real quick. Anything important?
It looks like there's some complaining.
Well, let's see. Maybe you could play. Yeah, let's do where I like the complaining.
I saw like it's impossible for me to. Yeah.
Well, will you be confused if you just play one of them for right now, but then go back to the prosecutor, but just play since they're all the defense right now, because that would be all my parts, just so you can read some of it. But just remember, you could play just for this part, then remember, you do Mosty and I'll be Mulder. Okay. The court. No, I'm the court. Okay. Back on the record now. My orders on Miss Routier remains the same. Her telephone privileges are canceled. The defense attorneys may appear in jail anytime they want to. They may call into Miss Routier. She can receive their calls, but nobody else's. Dang. Well, now, wait a minute, Judge. Just to clarify this, I don't know whether you know what the situation there is or not, but I was there to see her yesterday, and it was about 2:30, and they said that I could see her at 3:30. So, apparently I can't see her at any time. I thought that I would be able to see her at any time. He's whining again. Oh, my God.
Right.
Well, let's go off the record. For just a minute. Let's go back on the record. Mr. Mosley or Mr. Douglas, what are the local rules? You could be Preston too, and Mosty. Go ahead.
Okay. Judge, it's impossible for me to call one of my clients in the jail. Now, maybe you can part the seas, and it's different for me to talk to Miss Routier, but it doesn't work that way. But if we happen to call, and it may take an hour for them to get her, because maybe at 9 o'clock at night, and they don't have anybody else, they've got to get female guards to go get her and come up there. It just Doesn't make sense.
Well, Judge, as a matter of fact, when I went to see her last night, I did see her, and they were good about accommodating me. But they asked me in the future to call and make an appointment. I can't always call and make an appointment because I don't always know when it's going to be not convenient, but simply when I'm going to be available to get over there and see her. So I'll discuss that with Sheriff Kaiser tonight, and I will have an answer for you tomorrow morning. We would like to have her be able to call out to her attorneys. Oh, 23 there.
Okay. That's part of the communication because she might think of something that happened during the trial that strikes her that she needs to convey to me or Mr. Mulder, and the next morning it's gone.
I will discuss all this with Sheriff Kaiser. I'll have an answer for you in the morning.
Judge, besides the phone, if I might, I tried to go see her on her birthday and I called at 5:30 and they said, you have to call back at 9 o'clock. So obviously there is the time pressures we're working on in the trial. Sometimes we need to be able to go right then.
I understand.
And if you might talk to her about that.
I will talk to her about that. Judge, it's imperative that we speak to her tonight. Can she call us tonight? I think that I'll have an answer for you tomorrow morning. Mr. Mulder, if you want to speak to her tonight, I'm sure you can go to the jail and talk to her tonight, or remain here if you want to. We'll stay here and let you talk now. Do you want to visit with her right now? We'll get out of your way. Feel free to do so. Thank you. This is all for the record. See everybody in the morning, 9 o'clock. Well, we would like to discuss this with her, but we don't want to discuss it in front of y'all, with all due respect. You could be deputy too. Go ahead.
Well, there's a little holding cell. That's only the room I know of.
All right, let's get back on the record. Let me get the judge. Court comes back into courtroom. All right, back on the record again. In the Darlie Routier matter, these proceedings are being held outside the presence of the jury. And present for the state, we have Mr. Toby Shook for the defense, Mr. Richard Mosty, and Mr. Preston Douglas. Gentlemen, I have talked with Sheriff Francis Kaiser, the sheriff of Kerr County, and it's now 4:55 p.m. on Monday, January 7th. Present also during this conversation, we also have now Mr. Greg Davis, and present also during this conversation with Sheriff Kaiser was Mr. Kerry Young, a briefing attorney for the district judges in Dallas County. I've told Sheriff Kaiser, and she agrees, that Miss Routier may call Doug Mulder, which is a condominium over in the River Hills area. She may call Mr. Richard Mosty at blah, 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 which is his residence, which is his office. There are only numbers she can call.
That's just backwards.
Well, okay, whatever they have both, or whatever they both have, or wait, whatever they have, I don't know. The residence number is 257-6585, and the office is 896-3811. Those are the only people she can call. The way that will be handled is as follows. A sheriff deputy will dial the number to make sure that Douglas Mulder or Richard Mosty is on the line. And at that time, the phone will be handed to Mrs. Routier. The sheriff deputy will withdraw, keeping her in sight so they can't hear what she is saying, but nonetheless can see her. And as soon as she is through with that conversation, the phone will be taken away. She's not to call anyone else. Visiting hours are as follows in the jail. There are 1 to 5 on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Sheriff Kaiser has advised the court that you may visit her at any time. Call first if you don't get prompt access to her, to call her. Sheriff Kaiser's number, blah, blah, blah. And I want both of you gentlemen to tell Mr. Mulder that we are, and tomorrow. Okay, is that something like redacted, that we are something, and tomorrow? Okay, anything else before we get into something else? Is that it? All right, then I think we've adequately satisfied everybody as regards to telephone privileges of Miss Routier. I want to tell both sides. The first time she talks to anybody else, the telephone privileges will be totally rescinded. If you visit out there, you might tell her that too. Thank you. Okay. So that, man, that judge, he does not like the defense, I feel like. Okay, so who's the next? Let's see who the next wait, we got the transcripts. The next one is going to be David Waddell. Oh, Officer David Waddell. This is that good. I feel like this is going to be a good one. Okay. because we read a part of it that first live. So you'll be first, and then I'll be Dave Waddell. Okay. Let me know when you ever get tired, and A Team, she could take over, but I think you're doing good. And then I don't even know if A Team's still here, but let me know. Don't feel bad if you have to go. Just let me know.
Okay.
But thanks for doing
So
it.
you're welcome. I'm going to be Mr. Greg Davis, right?
Yep. That's
okay. Would you please tell us your full name?
Dave Wayne Waddell.
And Mr. Waddell, how are you employed at this time?
I'm a police officer for the city of Plano.
All right. And where exactly is Plano?
It's just north of Dallas.
How long have you been with Plano Police Department?
About 5 months. You got me doing an accent. It's fun because they're from Texas. I'm going to do it.
Right. Before coming to work for Plano, how were you employed?
For the city of Rowlett as a police officer.
All right. How old are you?
32.
Have you got a family?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Kids?
Yes, I do.
What are their ages?
7 and 1.
Now, how long have you been a Rowlett police officer?
4.5 years.
And before that, had you been a police officer at some other city there in Dallas County?
Yes.
And what city would that have been?
Glen Heights.
Okay. And how long were you with Glen Heights?
9 months.
And prior to Glen Heights, have you been in law enforcement in any capacity?
I was a reserve police officer.
Where?
For the city of Heath.
And is Heath in Rockwall County?
Yes, it is.
Just basically, it's just east of Dallas County, right?
Yes.
Now, when you were with the Rowlett Police Department, what was your rank?
Where am I? Shoot. Oh,
12.
I was a patrol officer.
And what were your duties?
I was assigned to a beat to answer calls every day.
Officer, I want to direct your attention back to June the 5th of 1996. Do you recall whether or not you were on duty that day?
I was.
And what were your hours to work?
9:30 to 6 a.m.
Okay, so it would be 9:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Were you in uniform that night?
Yes, I was.
Were you in a marked patrol car?
Yes, I was.
Were you working by yourself or with another officer?
By myself.
I want to now move forward to June the 6th at approximately 2:30 a.m. Were you still on patrol?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall where you were at about 2:30 in the morning?
I was in the parking lot of Victory Baptist Church.
Victory Baptist Church?
Yes, sir.
Is that in Rowlett?
Yes, it is.
Where is that located in Rowlett?
It's right about in the middle of the city off Highway 66 beside the lake.
Okay. Your Honor, may I please approach?
You may.
Officer Waddell, just looking here at this map of Rowlett, can you point out where the Victory Baptist Church would have been?
About right here.
Okay, do I have my fingers there where that would have been?
Yes, sir.
All right, it's just, I guess, sort of on the eastern portion, kind of the peninsula portion of Rowlett. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is that usual for you to sit in the parking lot up there?
No, sir.
Okay, do you recall whether or not you were doing anything specific when you were up there?
No, sir.
Did anything unusual catch your attention as you were sitting in your squad car at 2:30 in the morning out there at the Baptist church?
I heard the fire tones going off.
What do you mean, fire tones?
Well, whenever a dispatcher sends the fire department somewhere, they set off the tones on the police radio as well as the fire channel.
Okay, your radio in your car, does it have the ability to monitor that radio channel also?
Yes, it does.
All right, and Following the emergency tones, what's the next thing that you heard come over the radio?
I switched over to the fire channel and heard them dispatch the fire department to 5801 Eagle on a stabbing.
On a stabbing?
Yes, sir.
And did you do anything in response to hearing that over your radio?
I headed that way.
Okay, headed toward 5801 Eagle Drive.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall whether or not you switched on your emergency lights?
I did.
Now, Officer Waddell, do you know how far it is from the Victory Baptist Church where you were to 5801 Eagle Drive?
1.9 miles.
And do you know how long that took you that morning to get from your location to 5801 Eagle Drive?
2 or 3 minutes.
Now, on the way to that location, officer, did you see any vehicles speeding away from the neighborhood where 5801 Eagle Drive is located?
No, sir.
Did you see anyone out that morning on foot as you were going toward 5801 Eagle Drive?
No, sir.
Did you see anything unusual at all or suspicious as you went toward that location, sir?
No, sir.
Did you finally arrive at 5801 Eagle Drive?
Yes, I did.
Were you the first police officer on the scene?
Yes, sir.
As you entered the neighborhood there, did you see any vehicles on the roadway?
No.
Did you see any persons on foot in the neighborhood as you approached the house?
Just Darren Routier.
All right. And when you say Darren Routier, do you know him now to be Darren Routier?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever seen him before that morning, sir?
No, sir.
Let me back up for a moment. 5801 Eagle Drive, is that the location in the county of Dallas
Yes, it is.
and the state of Texas?
Yes.
And do you recall where you parked your car that morning?
I parked on the north side of the house.
Okay, and do you recognize this aerial photograph of 5801 Eagle Drive?
Yes, sir.
And north is toward the top of this photograph. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And can the witness please step down?
Yeah, please step down, officer. Watch your step.
If you would, officer, if you will, step to the side so that all the jurors can see where you're pointing. Can you just point for us where you parked your vehicle that morning?
Judge, could we see it? By all means, come on around. By all means, come on around.
We will move it around here a little bit further over here. I'll tell you what, let's roll it out a little bit further out here. Would you again point for us where you parked your squad car that morning?
Right here along this curve.
All right. And as you come up here to this location, officer, is that when you saw that individual that you now know to be Darren Routier?
Yes, sir.
Can you please point to where he was when you first saw him?
He was coming out of the front door across the yard.
All right. Do you recall how he was dressed that morning?
He was wearing blue jeans, no shirt, no shoes.
Okay. Do you remember whether or not he was saying anything as he came out?
He was saying something, but at that time I didn't know what it was.
All right. Did you have your gun drawn as you came up to that location?
Yes, I did.
All right. And why did you have your gun drawn?
I didn't know if he was a suspect or I didn't know who he was.
All right. You know you had a stabbing call, right?
Right.
What did you do then as you come up here and saw this individual running out of the house?
I hollered at him to stop, and then I walked over and met him in front of the fountain there.
Okay. And what happened when you met him over there?
He told me that his kids had been stabbed and that they were dying.
What did you do then?
After he told me that, he started going back into the house, and I followed him inside the house.
All right, officer. Now, Had you had any experience in dealing with crimes involving violence before?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. What kinds of offenses had you been involved with prior to June the 6th, 1996?
I worked on a homicide about 2 months before this one.
And you've been a police officer how long with Rolette?
About 4.5 years.
Okay. I guess you answered a lot of other calls during that
Yep.
time period.
Yes, sir.
Have you received any other specialized training as a member of the Rolette Police Department?
Yes, I had.
And what kind of training have you received?
In April of 1993, I went to a 24-hour crime scene school. I was also on the special response team for the police department.
What is the special response team?
It's a team that we served a lot of high-risk search warrants and arrest warrants.
Okay. Did you receive any specialized training to become a member of its specialized response team?
We trained 16 hours a month and we went to a 60-hour school in Austin, a SWAT school.
Okay. So, as I understood it, you said Darren Routier entered the residence. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you followed him into that residence.
Yes.
Whereupon the following mentioned item was marked for identification only, I don't know, I think 10, resumed on the record in open court as follows. Okay, Mr. Waddell, let me show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 10. Do you recognize this to be a layout of the floor plan of 5801 Eagle Drive?
Yes.
Does it accurately reflect the rooms as they appeared here in June of 1996?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we will offer State's Exhibit number 10.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 10 is admitted.
If you could, officer, if we could just go through the general layout here of the house. Is the front door that I'm pointing to the right here?
Yes.
As you come in, we've got labeled the living room. Is that the more formal area?
Yes.
And we have family room, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the entryway.
Yes, sir.
This is a two-story home, is it not?
Yes, it is.
All right. Is this the stairway that leads up to the second floor?
Yes, it is.
Okay. The kitchen, utility room, breakfast nook, and dining room, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the garage in this residence, is it attached to the house itself?
Yes.
And is it toward the rear of that house?
Yes, it is.
If you will, please tell the members of the jury where you came once you came in the front door of that residence. Where did you go to? Where did you first go to?
I could see a person standing here. I could see the defendant right here. I walked up this little hallway and stopped right here for a second.
Okay. Did you notice anything unusual here in that entryway?
I noticed some blood on the floor.
All right. What'd you do in response to that?
I saw the blood. I attempted not to step in it and disturb any of it.
All right. You said you saw someone back here. Did you actually go through the entryway then?
Yes.
And where did you go then?
I went straight to the defendant who was standing right here.
All right. If you could, let me give you a red pen. And officer, I'd like for you, if you would, just to place an X where you saw the defendant. And then just let me ask you first, do you see the defendant in the courtroom this morning?
Yes.
Could you please point her out?
She's right over there.
Okay, she's a female sitting at the counsel table over here in a gray jacket. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Oh, that's you.
Sorry. Your Honor, may the record reflect this witness is identifying the defendant in open court?
Yes, sir.
Sir, if you would, please take this red pen and just place an X at the position where you
Sorry.
first saw the defendant when you came in the residence. All right. If you would, if you'll just write above that defendant. And if you would, when you come in here, did you see any other persons inside that room when you came into the family room?
I noticed a small child laying on the ground right there.
All right. Would you put another X and label that as small child, please, where you saw him?
Okay.
Did you see anyone else when you came in there?
Ooh, where'd I go? Where'd I go? There we go.
Past 25. There you go.
Darren Routier had gone across the living room, and there was another child on the floor on the other side.
And if you could, if you'll put an X and then put label as that second child, please.
Okay.
All right. And as I understand then, when you came in, first, let me ask you, did I understand you to say that Darren Routier had gone over there to the second child?
Yes.
Had you asked him to do that?
At that point, I had not.
All right. When you saw the defendant here standing, please describe for us what she was doing at the time.
She was holding a towel over her neck with one hand and talking on the telephone with the other.
All right. Was that a cordless telephone, or is that a telephone that was connected to an outlet?
It was a cordless phone.
Can you describe how she was dressed that morning?
A light colored t-shirt.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Was she wearing any shoes that you could see?
No, sir.
Okay. So she was she barefoot?
Yes.
How would you describe her demeanor when you first saw her? What was she doing and what was her demeanor?
She appeared to be upset and hysterical.
And when you say upset or hysterical, what do you mean by that?
She was screaming and yelling.
All right. Was she doing that to you or someone else or to anyone in particular?
I thought she was talking on the telephone still.
All right. Tell us what's the next thing you can recall happening when you came in here and saw her.
I could see this child's feet right here, and I walked around his feet. I approached the defendant and asked her who had done it and where they were at. She couldn't give me a description of who had done it, but she told me that whoever was still in the garage.
All right. And do you know at that time that the garage was back here?
No.
Okay. Did she indicate in any way where the garage was?
She pointed to it and told me that direction.
Okay. So did she point over toward this portion of the house then?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do then, or what's the next thing that happened at that point?
I instructed Darren Routier to try to help the second child over there with some type of first aid. I told him to apply pressure to some of the wounds to try to stop the bleeding.
And the second child being this child over the portion of the room.
Yes.
All right. Did Darren follow your instructions?
Yes.
All right. What did you see him do?
I saw him on his hands and knees beside the child. I couldn't tell exactly what he was doing. It looked to me like he was trying to give him CPR or putting pressure on his wounds.
Okay. Did you have anything to do when he went over here and started to do whatever he was doing?
He told me that it was no use, that he was blowing air through his chest.
Okay. What about this child over here? Let's go back to this child. Do you recall this smaller child was dressed that morning?
He had on long pants and a shirt.
All right. Let me ask you, was there anything on his back, such as a towel or rag, anything else besides the clothing he was wearing, officer?
No.
After Darren Routier tells you that he's been blowing into his child's mouth here or his chest, what's the next thing that you recall happening?
I told the defendant to get some towels and put on the first child's back to try to stop his bleeding. Sorry, it's two. Kind of went up quick.
You're good. Now, when you said that to her, first of all, let me back up. At the time that Darren Routier is over here doing whatever he's doing with that second child, where's the defendant?
She's in the same position.
Is she's still over there across the room?
Yes, sir.
And where are you?
I'm right beside her.
Okay, so you've moved over here to this area, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a countertop or bar here that separates the family room and the kitchen room?
Yes.
And can you actually see through the family room into the kitchen room?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you, officer, at that time, that Darren Routier was making whatever efforts he was with the second child. Did any blood get on you?
No.
Okay, did you see any blood fly across the room over here on this defendant?
No, sir.
All right, let's move forward here. Again, when you told the defendant to go over here and find something to apply pressure to this child, what, if anything, did she do?
She stayed in the same place she was and told me that the suspect was still in the garage.
All right, and what did you do in response to that?
I went into the kitchen and tried to look into the garage.
All right, well, let me back you up here. This child is obviously injured, correct?
Yes.
You've asked her to go over and assist him, correct?
Yes.
She doesn't do that, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, why didn't you then drop down? You're trained in CPR.
Yes.
Why didn't you then go down here and start applying pressure to that this child needed at this point yourself?
Because the suspect was still in the house as far as I knew.
Okay, are there certain procedures that you've been trained to follow when you go out to a scene such as this?
Yes, sir.
Are there certain priorities?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you tell the members of the juries what are the priorities? What are the things that you're supposed to do when you confront a scene like this?
First of all, we try to find out if the suspect is still in the house or not, if they are still at the location. Secondly, would be to get medical attention where needed. And then the third thing would be to preserve the crime scene.
Okay, and Officer Waddell, at that time that you asked the defendant to care for this child, had you located the suspect?
No,
Had you gotten the information from the defendant concerning the suspect?
not at that time.
All right. Did you believe one to still be in the house?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and where did you believe him to be?
She told me he was in the garage, and I assumed that's where he was.
All right. And I believe you said that you, in fact, started to go to the garage. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And if you could, just with a pen, not writing, but if you would, just indicate for the members of the jury, where you went to if you first went toward the garage area.
I was over here by her. I came around the bar, walked into the kitchen to about right here, enough to where I could look through the utility room. There's a door here. I was trying to look through the door into the garage.
When you're doing that, are there any lights on inside the house?
Yes.
Okay. What light is on in this family room, if you recall?
I remember the TV being on.
Okay. This black object here, is that a big screen television that's in there?
Yes, sir.
Was that television on when you first entered the family room?
Yes.
And how about the kitchen area? What lighting is there available for you there?
There was an overhead light on when I went in there.
How about the utility room back here? Was there a light on in there?
I don't recall if that light was on or not.
So, as I understand, you then went about halfway into the kitchen here.
Right?
Did you go any further?
No.
When you were at this position, officer, did you see anyone back here or
No,
back there?
No, sir.
Did you hear anyone back there?
No.
Why didn't you go any further than halfway through the kitchen at this point, Officer Waddell?
I couldn't see into the garage, and I wasn't positive that that's where the suspect was. I knew he was still in the house at the time, is what we thought, and I didn't want to leave all of them back in the living room with the suspect loose in the house somewhere.
Do you know how long you were gone from that time that you left here to go back here to the kitchen to the time that you came back? About how much time has elapsed at that point?
Maybe 30 or 40 seconds.
And when you come back, is the smaller child still in the same position here?
Yes.
How about the second child? Is he still in the same position over here?
Yes.
How about the defendant? Where's the defendant when you come back from the kitchen area?
In the same position.
Basically the same position that we have marked here for the next.
Yes, sir.
She's not over here with the small child.
No.
What is she doing?
She was still yelling. I don't know if she was still on the telephone or not, but she was still yelling to get help.
Okay. How about Darren? Do you recall where he was when you came back from the kitchen?
I think he was still over at the second child.
Well, was there anything at all to indicate to you that the defendant had moved her from her original position in the time period? Now, you had gone to the kitchen and come back. Anything at all to indicate that?
No.
You come back into this area again. And now, what do?
I asked her again for a description of the suspect, and she told me she didn't know if it was a white or a black guy, but that he was wearing a black shirt, dark pants, and a ball cap.
Again, a black small cap and dark shirt.
Yes, sir.
Didn't know whether he was white or black.
Right.
Okay. Did she give you any other information at that time about this person or what may have happened?
She told me what had happened.
Okay, just tell the members of the jury what the defendant told you had happened right there.
She told me that she had gotten into a fight with somebody that broke into her house. She fought with the suspect. She told me that she fought with him at the end of the bar here and that he ran across the kitchen.
All right. Did she describe what kind of fight had occurred here in this area?
She just said that she had a fight with him.
All right. Are you sure it was this area that she was indicating to?
Yes, sir.
How was she indicating that area between the family room and the kitchen as being the places of struggle?
As she was telling me, she was walking in this direction and then she pointed to that area.
All right, if you could, officer, please take that red pen again. Just put an X in the place where she says the struggle occurred and just label that as struggle.
Okay.
All right, now if we can pick this up from the point where she is now, given the description she has told you what's happened, she's now pointed out the place where the struggle occurred. What's the next thing that you recall happening?
We walked back over to this area and I could see that this child here was laying on the floor on his stomach, on his left side of his face. And he was looking up at both of us, making some noises like he was trying to breathe.
All right, if we could position him in general, could you describe how this child was laying, where his feet were and where his head was?
His feet were right here and his head was on this end.
Okay, so you've got his head here. Basically, and his feet were closer to the hallway. Is that correct?
Yes.
He's on his stomach.
Yes, sir.
And you say that he had his head turned where he's looking up at you. Does he have his head turned in this fashion then?
Yes, sir.
And he does that. Can you just point with the pointer where you and the defendant are at this point?
Right in this area.
Are you able to see his face?
Yes.
Are you able to see what he's doing?
Yes.
Okay. And the defendant is right next to you. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
This child here, this small child, could you see whether or not his eyes were open at that point?
They were open.
And was he looking in your direction?
Yes.
Was he making any sort of noise?
Yes, he was.
And what sort of noise was he making?
Like a gasping type noise.
Okay, so this child was not dead at this point, was he?
No.
What did you do then?
I instructed her to get some towels and put them on his back to try to stop the bleeding.
And what did she do?
Nothing. She kept telling me that when she chased the suspect across the kitchen, that he had dropped the knife by the utility somewhere over here in this area, and that she had picked up the knife and brought it back and set it on the counter. She told me that she thought she had messed up the fingerprints.
Well, at that time, Officer Waddell, that you asked her again to care for this child over here. This child with his eyes open. Do you feel that she was capable of rendering assistance to this child?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you think she was capable or capable of assisting this child?
Well, she appeared to know everything that was going on inside the house. She was real alert and able to tell me what had happened. I thought if she was worried about fingerprints on a knife, she could certainly take care of her kids.
Okay, she didn't go over there?
No.
And again, let me ask you again, this second time when you requested that she assist this child and she didn't, why didn't you yourself now go over here and do that?
At that point, I didn't know where the suspect was. I thought he was still in the house. I positioned myself between them and the rest of the house. This was the only way to get into this room. I positioned myself right here until I could get another backup officer to help me clear the house.
Okay. And what happens if you go over here and start tending to him and you have a suspect come in the room?
Then he stabs me too.
Okay. You position yourself in this area, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the next thing that happened?
I waited there until Sergeant Walling arrived, it wasn't too long after that.
Oh, what was the purpose of waiting for a second officer before you did anything else?
It's a procedure to wait on another officer. This was certainly a life-threatening situation, and I didn't want to walk out in the garage. No, not knowing what was in there by myself.
Okay. You said the second officer's name was Matt Walling, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Also a member of the Rolette Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Is he one of the shift supervisors?
Oh, sorry, I read the wrong one. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And did he, in fact, enter the residence and meet up with you then?
Yes, he did.
And when I think at the time he was a sergeant, correct?
Yes.
And now he's a lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
And when Lieutenant Walling came in, can you tell the members of the jury what you and Lieutenant Walling did then?
He came in and met me right where I was standing. I briefed him on what happened and that the suspect was probably still in the house somewhere, most likely in the garage. And then we walked through the kitchen and went into the garage to check to see if anybody was in there.
This rectangular object here in the kitchen area, what is that?
That's a small island in the kitchen.
All right. And do you recall how you and Lieutenant Walling actually went from this area back through the utility room?
Yes, sir. We came this way around the island and around this way.
All right. So and just so we can orient these green rectangles, are those rugs?
Yes.
All right. This circular object, what is this circular object there in the kitchen?
I believe it was a wine rack.
So you then went past the wine rack and then you just went to the right of the island. Is that right?
Yes.
Could you see anything on the floor of the kitchen as you went that direction?
There was blood on the floor and a broken wine glass. I remember seeing the wine glass and the blood.
Okay. What did you do in response to that?
I stepped over it.
Okay. Did you, in fact, get back to the utility room?
Yes.
Is there a door that separates the kitchen and the utility room?
Yes.
That morning, do you recall whether or not the door was open or not?
It was open.
Did both you and Lieutenant Walling go into that utility room then?
Yes.
Is there a door here that separates the utility room from the garage?
Yes.
All right. That morning when you went into the utility room, was the door open or was it closed?
This door was closed. This door here was closed.
Okay. All right. And that would be the door that separates the house from the garage, correct?
Yes, sir.
Could you see any sort of damage to that door? Wood broken off, chips, anything to indicate that there had been a forced entry made on that door?
No, sir.
Well, what's the next thing that happened?
When you and the Lieutenant Walling went back to the utility room, or wait, no, sorry. Wait, which one am I now? I already forgot. Am I the question or answer? Oh my God.
You're the answer.
Okay, go ahead. Oh.
Where am I at?
I read half of yours. You read the first half, and then I just thought I went
okay.
like froze up. I couldn't remember if I was answer a question for a minute. Wow.
Okay. What's the next thing that happened when you and Lieutenant Walling went back to the utility room?
Lieutenant Wallen opened the door, and then it was dark inside. So he scanned across this way with his flashlight, and he stepped in and went to the left. And I went in the doorway and looked to the right.
Okay. Do you know how far into the garage Lieutenant Walling went?
I'm not for sure exactly how far it was. It wasn't real far.
You say that he scanned with his flashlight. Were the lights on in the garage here?
No.
Okay. Did you have your flashlight out also?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And he scanned toward the left. Is that right?
Right.
Did you actually step into the garage yourself?
I was right in the doorway.
All right. And you scanned toward the right portion of the garage. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anyone when you went out there into the garage?
No.
Did you hear anyone out in the garage?
No.
Did Lieutenant Wallen stay in the garage or did he come back in?
He came right back in.
And when both of you are now in the utility room, what's the next thing that happened?
Lieutenant Wallen told me that he saw the cut screen on the window.
All right. If you could, just to kind of orient the jury, we've got some areas up here. Does this garage have several windows on the wall of the garage?
Yes.
And this area here, just the white area, is that basically that's the backyard, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you label that as backyard?
Yes, sir.
And the windows then would look out into the backyard from the garage. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And when he told you that he saw the screen that had been cut on one of those windows.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you step out to look at it at that time?
No.
Okay. What did you do?
I turned around and went back to the kitchen where they were.
And if you could, with the pointer, just indicate the route that you took when you went back into the utility room, to the kitchen, back to the family room. When the route, did you take a different route or the same route?
It was the same route, right through here and around the island and back right over to this area.
Okay. How about Lieutenant Walling? Did he follow you back into the family room?
No.
Okay. Did you see where he went?
I didn't see where he went. No, sir.
Okay. Did he tell you that he was going to someplace else, though?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. Where did he say he was going to go to?
He told me he was going to go around to the backyard.
All right. Why didn't you go to the backyard with him?
I was going back over here because the house still wasn't secured at that time. I went back over here with them. I believe there was another officer coming to meet Lieutenant Walling.
Okay. Well, at the time that y'all are coming back, you had an opportunity to make a full search of the formal living room.
No, sir.
How about the breakfast? How about the breakfast in this area? Did you have a chance to make a complete search of it also?
No, sir.
How about the formal dining room? Have you had a chance to make a full search of it also?
No.
Bathroom in here?
No, sir.
Had anybody at that point gone any of the upstairs room to check any of them out?
No, sir.
So you come back in here and Lieutenant Walling leaves the house to go to the backyard. Is that right?
Right.
And as you come back in here, officer, is there anybody still in the family room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you just tell us who was in the family room when you come back?
The defendant's still in the family room.
And where is she?
Still Right. She's over in this area right here.
Do you remember what she's doing when you come back?
I don't remember exactly what she was doing, just standing there.
Did you look over to see whether or not a rag or towel or anything had been placed on the back of the small child?
Yes, sir.
And what was the result?
There was none.
So the defendant is still over in this area near the kitchen bar. Do you remember whether or not her husband, Darren, was still in the room at the time?
I think he was. I'm not for sure. He was in there shortly after I got back in there.
Okay, and the second child is still in the same position.
Yes.
At any point, did any other persons come into the family room?
Yes.
Okay, who else came into the family room?
The paramedics.
From the Rolette Fire Department?
Yes, sir.
Can you just describe briefly how they came in and where they went to?
When they came in, I was standing right here beside the defendant. At that time, her husband was in there, Darren. I told both of them to come back over here and sit down up against the sliding glass doors and kind of stay out of the way.
Okay, is there a sliding glass door that's on this portion of the room that leads from the family room back out to the garage?
It leads into the backyard.
Yeah, into the backyard. Okay. From the family room into the backyard. Also, some windows across this portion of the room. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And when we've indicated some furniture, there's 2 couches. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
They've got a coffee table
Yes.
and a chair over in this location, right?
Yes, sir.
And is the fireplace over in this portion of the room?
Yes.
We've got a rectangular space here. What is that over there? Do you recall?
I don't recall what it was.
You indicated that you had them come over to this area of the family room close to the sliding glass door. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did they go over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many paramedics came in?
2 initially.
All right. And where did they go to?
The first paramedic went to this child, and the second one came right over here to this child.
Okay, over here on this diagram. We've indicated this couch to be up closer to the window. In fact, is there a little bit more space between this couch and the back window here?
Object to leading. Overruled. Go ahead. Yes, sir, there is.
Okay, and again with a pointer, if you will, just indicate how the paramedic traveled to reach the second child, if you recall.
He came around this way. I don't know which route he took. I know he walked past me and around this way.
Do you know the name of the paramedic that went over here to care for this second child?
I think his first name is Brian. I'm not sure.
Do you recall the name of the paramedic that went to the smaller child?
No.
What's the next thing that you saw happen?
Well, this paramedic moved over here to pick this child up and took him outside.
Now, during the time period that the paramedic is working on the first child over here, is the defendant still over here?
Yes.
While the first child is still in the house. Do you ever hear the defendant ask anyone in the room about the condition of the first child?
No.
Did you ever hear her say anything at all concerning the first child that's laying over here?
No.
While the paramedic was working on this second child over here, did you hear the defendant make any inquiries about the condition of the second child?
No.
Did you ever ask her? Did you ever hear her say anything regarding the second child that was being worked on by this paramedic?
No.
When the paramedic took this child out, how did he take him out of the house? What route did he take?
He picked him up and just carried him straight out the front door.
All right. And Officer Waddell, as the first child was being taken out, did you hear the defendant make any inquiry as to where her child was being taken to?
No.
Did you hear her say anything at all concerning the first child as the paramedic was taking him out the front door?
No.
Did she make any attempt whatsoever to follow the paramedic out as he took this first child out
No.
of the house? My bad.
You're right. No.
What's the next thing that happened after the first child was taken out of the house then?
Well, this paramedic came around and told me that there was nothing he could do for that child over there. At that time, Lieutenant Wallen came back inside the house and we went and checked upstairs.
Okay. Did you go up these stairs here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there a number of rooms upstairs in this house?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall the rooms that y'all went into that morning?
I believe there were 4 rooms, at least 4 rooms.
Did you check each of the rooms?
Yes.
Do you find any other victims upstairs?
No.
Do you find any other persons upstairs?
Yes.
Okay. And who did you find upstairs?
An 8-month-old baby
And do you recall where you found him?
in a baby bed in the master bedroom.
All right. Now, when you went upstairs, officer, did you know that a baby was upstairs?
No.
Had the defendant said anything to you or anyone else in your presence about a baby being upstairs before you and Lieutenant Wallen went up there to find him?
No.
How was the baby when you went up there?
He was fine, standing up in the bed, just looking over the rail.
Appeared to be in good shape?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Appear to be in any sort of danger?
No.
When you and Lieutenant Wallen got to that baby, had you checked all the other rooms upstairs yet?
No, sir.
Did you take the baby with you then?
No.
Okay. Why didn't you take the baby out of the bassinet and take him with you?
Well, we still hadn't located the suspect and didn't know if he was in one of the upstairs rooms.
All right. So did you, in fact, then complete your check of the upstairs rooms?
Yes.
Did you find anything unusual upstairs then besides the baby being in a bassinet?
No.
Okay. What did you and Lieutenant Wallen do after you finished upstairs?
We went back downstairs and Lieutenant Walling went outside.
He went outside. Where did you go to?
I went to the entranceway right in this hallway here.
All right. Let me just ask you whether or not you saw anyone as you're coming down the stairs. Just tell the members of the jury whether or not you saw anyone as you were coming down the stairs that morning.
Yes, I did.
And who was that?
It was one of the neighbors.
Okay. Where did you see her?
She was in the entryway here, right in this area.
Okay. If you just put an X where you saw the person, label it as Sandra M. Halsey, neighbor. What was it, male or female?
It was female.
Okay. Was she running? Was she moving? What was she doing?
She was just standing there.
And did you go down and have a conversation with her?
Yes.
Did she say anything to you about why she was in the house?
No. At one point, Darren Routier told me that there was a nurse that lived across the street. And I told him that if she was a nurse, that she could come over and that we did need some help.
All right. At that time, had the paramedics got there yet?
At that time, at that time that I found her?
No, at the time that you had that conversation with Darren.
Oh, no, sir. No.
At that time that you saw this woman in the entryway, the paramedics were already there though, right?
Right.
Did you have a conversation with her?
Yes.
And what was the conversation that you had with this woman?
I told her that the paramedics had already taken care of the one child was already out in the ambulance and the defendant was sitting on the front porch and they were attending to her wounds.
Okay, so did this woman remain in the house? Did she go anywhere else in the house with you, or what did she do?
No, I instructed her that we didn't need her at that time and that she needed to leave the house.
Did she leave the house?
Yes.
Okay. About how long after that conversation take before she left the house, if you recall?
Less than a minute.
Did you actually see her leave the house then?
Yes.
Okay. And did I understand you to say that the defendant was already out on the front porch?
Yes.
At the time that the neighbor left the house, Officer Waddell, then besides yourself and Lieutenant Walling, who else was still inside of that house?
I believe there were a couple more paramedics inside.
Okay, and the first child had already been taken out, correct?
Yes.
How about the second child? Had he been taken out yet?
No.
So he's in there with a couple of paramedics, perhaps.
Right.
You're in there still.
I'm still in the house.
All right. And did you say that Lieutenant Walling stayed in that house, or did he leave and go outside?
He went outside.
What did you do then once this neighbor left? What did you do?
I went to the front door and waited for the paramedics to come out, and they told me that there was nothing they could do for the second child, and they told me they were going to get their stuff. And I noticed one of them was carrying the baby downstairs, and they were all going outside.
Okay. What was the purpose of you then staying at this front door?
To secure the crime scene.
Can you give us an approximate time when the paramedics left and you were posted here at the front door? Just an approximation, if you recall.
About 2:40 or 2:45.
Are you looking at your watch during this period of time?
No.
So that would be just an approximation.
Yes, sir.
And once you were posted here at this door, how long did you remain here at that front door?
Until probably a little after 3 a.m.
Officer Waddell, did anyone enter that house after you between the 2 or 2:45 that you were posted at this front door until you left the door sometime after 3 a.m.? Did anyone at all enter that residence, sir?
No.
When you were at this door, could you see Lieutenant Walling?
Yes.
Could you see what he was doing?
Yes.
And what did you see Lieutenant Walling doing?
He was stringing up crime scene tape across the street.
And is that yellow tape y'all used?
Yes, sir.
Did you actually watch him do that?
Yes, sir.
Officer Waddell, if you just step right here for a moment.
I'm just gonna. Well, I guess we'll do. Let's see. Yeah, they resumed on the record and open court. Yeah, I'll skip all that. Go ahead.
Okay. I believe you've previously looked at the photographs marked States Exhibit 11, 11A, 11B, 11C, D, E, and F. Have you not?
Yes, sir.
First of all, States Exhibit number 11, is that an accurate portrayal of the floor plan of the family room as it appeared on June the 6th of 1996?
Yes, it is.
Does it accurately locate the two boys that you saw that evening?
Yes.
States Exhibit 11A, 11B, 11C, 11D, 11E, and 11F. Do they truly and accurately depict the family room of 5801 Eagle Drive as it appeared on June the 6th, 1996?
Judge, we would like the record to reflect that he's showing the photograph to the jury while he's apparently attempting to identify it.
Well, I would like for the record to reflect that I have just two hands. I'm making my best effort not to have the jury see the photographs.
Gentlemen, I will make the rulings. Overruled. Continue.
Thank you. Do they truly and accurately depict the family room as it appeared that morning?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, we'll offer States Exhibit 11, 11A, 11B, 11C, 11D, 11E, and 11F.
Any objection? We'd like to see it, Judge. We weren't in the jury box and weren't able to see them.
These all exhibits have previously been inspected by the defense prior to the trial, Your Honor.
The court is aware of that. I don't know the numbers on them. Well, take a look. We have no objection. States Exhibit 11A, B, C, D, E, F are admitted. All right.
All right, Officer Waddell, is States Exhibit 11, is that a floor plan of this family room again?
Yes.
And we've got two pictures here. The first picture up here toward the top portion of that floor plan, is that the second child?
Yes.
The other child, would that be the smaller child that you have referred to?
Yes.
Can you tell the members of the jury what we see here in States Exhibit 11A?
That's the entrance into the family room. That would be looking from this hallway here.
And what's the object I'm pointing to here at the top right-hand portion of the photograph?
The telephone that she was talking on.
The red area on the carpet, what is that?
Blood.
Okay. Do you see another object? A rectangular object close to that phone. What is that?
I believe that's the plastic runner that was over the carpet.
Now, if we could, can everyone see that? If we could we look at States Exhibit 11B and just take us through the photograph, if you would, and show the members of the jury what we see in the photograph?
Okay, this is
What are we looking at? What direction are we looking?
This is the family room. You'd be looking from the entrance. The entrance to the family room is over here. This is where the second child was. The first one would have been over here in this area somewhere.
All right. Do you see the couches in the photograph?
Yes, sir.
Do we see the telephone again?
I don't see it, no.
Okay, if you'll look at the right portion of the photograph.
Oh, over here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's the telephone.
All right. And what is that object next to the telephone on the floor, if you know?
A rag?
Oh, okay. Do you recall that morning what type of rag the defendant had around her neck when you saw her?
It was green. It was a greenish colored rag.
The color of the rag in that photograph. Can you tell the color there?
Green.
All right. Toward the right portion of the let me just step around here so that I can ask you a question. This white area, what is that?
That's the end of the counter.
To the right. Would that be the kitchen then, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's an object up there, officer. A white object. What is that?
I would have to look. I can't see from here.
Okay.
That's the knife.
Okay. Did you see that knife that morning?
Yes, I did.
Was it in the same position when you first saw it?
Yes, sir.
If you look at States Exhibit 11C, 11D, 11E, and 11F, what do those photographs show?
That's the second child.
That would be located over here in this portion of the room. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
When you first saw that child that morning, was he covered with this object?
No.
Do you know how he got that on him?
I believe one of the paramedics put it over him.
Okay, when you first saw the child, do you recall whether or not he was laying down?
Yes, he was.
Was he on his back or was he on his stomach?
On his back.
Okay. Would it be more in the position that we see here in States Exhibit number 11D and 11E than as far as being on his back?
Yes, sir.
Looking at States Exhibit 11F, can you tell whether or not the child's eyes were open in this photograph or not?
Yes, they look open to me.
These other objects, there appears to be a pillow over there near him. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do we also see the same pillow up here in photograph 11B?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what these items are over here? Here we see in States Exhibit 11C. Do you know what those items were up there toward the top of the portion of the photograph?
No, sir. I don't.
Did you ever examine them yourself?
No, sir.
Look through those in any way.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. You may retake your seat. Officer Waddell, let me pick it up. Again, where you're at the front door, you stayed there until sometime after 3 p.m. When did you leave the front door?
When Officer Wade relieved me from the front door.
Okay, what's his full name if you know?
Steve Wade.
All right. And do you recall about what time he got to the front door?
It was right around 3 a.m.
And he was there to relieve you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you then leave the front door?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you go with anyone or did you leave it by yourself?
I left the door by myself, but I met someone else.
All right. And who did you meet?
A Garland canine officer.
Do you remember what his name was?
Griffith or Griffin.
Okay. Did he have a dog with him?
Yes.
And did you say stay at the residence with a officer and his dog, or did you go someplace?
We went somewhere.
And as best as you can recall, can you tell the members of the jury where you went with Officer Griffith and the dog?
We walked around the neighborhood. We walked up and down alleys, across front yards. We went to about two or three streets behind 5801 Eagle.
And how long did you go with Officer Griffith through the neighborhood?
We were out there for about 50 minutes.
During that time that you were with Officer and his dog, did you ever locate any suspects?
No.
Find anything that took you back to the residence?
No, sir.
Did you actually go back to 5801 Eagle Drive?
Yes, sir.
And when you got back there, were you instructed to do anything?
Yes.
And what did you do in response to your instructions?
I followed my instructions and I went to the back of the house.
All right. And is there an alley that runs behind that house?
Yes, sir.
What did you do once you got back there?
I was assigned to stay in the alley and stop anybody who came down the alley and identify them and ask them if they had heard anything that was out of the ordinary for that night.
That morning, do you recall how long you stayed in that alley?
Probably till about 7 or 8 in the morning.
How many cars did you stop while you were in that alley?
1.
About what time did you stop that vehicle?
It was right before the sun came up. And
how-
oh, go ahead, sorry.
And how many people were inside the car?
1.
Can you describe the person that was inside the car?
It was a white female.
And did you determine where she was going?
Yes, sir.
And where was that?
She said she was going to work.
Did you detain her back there, or did you let her go to work?
I let her go to work.
Anybody else? Did you come in contact with anybody else back there in that alley before you left?
No, sir. Other than the police officers, no.
How long did you remain there at that location that morning?
I was there till about 7 or 8 in the morning.
About 7 or 8 in the morning.
Yes, sir.
And once you left, where did you go to?
I went back to the police station.
And when you got back to the police station, what did you do?
I started writing a report.
Is that standard procedure?
Yes.
All right. And what's the purpose of you sitting down and making a report at that time?
To document facts so that I can remember what happened and to supply investigators with information to start an investigation.
When you make a report, do you attempt to put every single thing that you heard or said or saw
Well, I try to.
as best as you can?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall about what time that you left the station that morning when you finished your report?
Maybe around 10 or 11 a.m.
By the time you finished your report, how long had you been on duty?
14 hours.
Did you go home after that?
Yes.
Were you scheduled to work the next morning? I mean, the next evening.
Yes.
All right. So you're scheduled to work. You work the evening of the 5th, correct?
Right.
We're now into about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning on the 6th. And you were scheduled to work that evening of the 6th. Is that right?
Yes.
What time did you go on duty that night?
9:30.
And did you actually go out on patrol again?
Yes.
Again by yourself?
Yes.
Was there ever a time when you came back to the police station before completing your patrol duties?
Yes.
And about what time was that?
About 1 a.m.
What was the purpose of you going back? Why did you do that?
I had remembered some more information that I thought was important, and I thought I would do a supplement.
Okay. Do a supplemental report.
Yes, sir.
And did you, in fact, go back to the police station and do that?
Yes, I did.
Is it unusual to do a supplemental report?
No.
Do you have a form that the Rolette Police Department uses in fact says supplemental offense report?
Yes, sir.
And did you then complete a supplemental report that morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay, may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Officer Waddell, I'm gonna just ask you, just for identification purposes, have I showed you these pieces of paper? I believe there are actually 6 pieces of paper prior to your testimony. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And just to verify that these are in fact the reports that you prepared, both the offense report and the supplemental offense report in this case, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time we will tender the reports to Mr. Mulder and we will pass the witness for cross-examination.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a 10-minute break, please. Be back 10:20.
All right,
Whew.
I have got to go because it's about
Okay, go
4
ahead.
minutes before my husband walks through the door. He's gonna be like, "Girl, why you ain't go to bed?"
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, thanks for reading. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. If you need me to read again, just holler.
I might,
you.
because this is we might be doing this for a couple of days to finish it. So I will.
I'll-
Cool. Thank you.
Well, I'll hit you tomorrow and see if you're on.
Okay,
and-
cool.
All right.
I love
talk
the
to you then.
accents. Thank you. All
Oh,
right.
thank
bye.
you. Got to get creative somehow.
Yeah. All
Keeps
righty.
us all entertained.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Let me go over to this one right here. And then, so how's everybody doing? I'd like to finish this. Is A-team still in the house? Anybody that wants to help finish at least this witness? Man, this is going to take a while. Yeah, there's no way we could probably even finish this in 2 days. Well, I don't know how many more witnesses, but this might take a few days. But I don't know. Is something you guys are enjoying, or I don't know. I hope you guys are enjoying it. A-team, yeah. A-team, I don't know. I think she left before we got to the next witness, so I think she's already probably in dreamland. I feel bad now because by the time we finished the next witness, I think she was already gone. So, because we were going to take turns, but which is fine because it was getting late. But does anybody want to finish this witness? Do you guys like this? I mean, would you like to finish the transcripts as the days go on, or no? Are you guys following it good? Challenge the opinion, not the personality. How's the chat doing? Hey, Emma. Wait, let's see how chat's doing. Yeah, shoot. I bet you everybody else. Does anybody feel like doing it, or to at least finishing this witness with me, or no? Because I don't know. I probably won't be able to go any further than this witness because I'm starting to get a headache because my screen is like all white, and then you see it's all white, and then the transcript. So I think that white light is giving me a headache. But I would like to at least finish this. I could probably just do it by myself real quick, I guess. But I want to do. Well, maybe I'll wait. It's the cross-examination. So Mulder, I love doing Mulder for some reason. He's my favorite part to read. Because it's like I love him, but not in like a good way, like that I would want him to defend me. It's fun playing his part, I guess I should say. Oh, hey, Lizabella Hart, what is up? Oh yeah, but see, Mama Mia, I'm so afraid to freaking play any clips anymore. All these copyright claims, it's ridiculous, man. And so that footage, I'm afraid. I don't know. I feel comfortable still doing like local news, local news. They're really cool when it's like local news. They never do claims. They're just really cool because it's the news. But like something like that, you could look it up, but I'm afraid to even play it. I don't want to get a claim or strike. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, Mama Mia, maybe we could do it like for members or something. Yeah, you could find like they had like a memorial before the whole silly string thing, but you could catch like the time right before she sprays the silly string and like right after, and it's like she's not all smiling the whole time. It's just when she does the silly spring, because that was the part they're like, oh, happy birthday. So yeah, she's smiling at that one moment, but otherwise it's not. Like she's like leaning up on her sister and they look sad, and it's just like so yeah, you could find parts of it. I could probably find a link for you, but like I said, I don't want to take a chance of putting it in here now. People are crazy with these documentaries. These people like think that we can't use clips for fair use when they make a documentary. Like even if it's just so little. And I did play that on my first Darlie video though, so I have to see. I think let's see where I got that clip. But now with all these new documentaries, like for instance the Watts, right? All those Weld County files, they tried to claim all these people until they realized, wait a minute, wait, these people are actually going out and getting it. Like this is fair use. Like, so I think all these new documentaries of the Routier, now they're making claims on like little clips that used to be anybody's, and now they think they own them because they're including their clips in their documentaries. Just like Dr. Phil, for instance, didn't cover the Vallow case till months after I covered it. Months. The clip that I used it clipped, and when they found him in Hawaii, remember they found Lori in Hawaii, that clip, which was East Idaho News. But because Dr. Phil had that clip on his show when he covered it months after I even made the video that he made a claim on, right? Months. I mean, like 3 months. He did his show 3 months after my video that he made a claim. And he put that little part of East Idaho News when she finds him in Hawaii. I had a little clip in mine 3 months before Dr. Phil, and he made a copyright claim on me. Isn't that bullcrap? I don't know. It's just getting ridiculous. These big companies, they're just getting out of control. But anyway, yeah, Mama Mia, I'll try to get you a clip and we could watch it privately or something, because I just don't feel safe anymore unless if it's like a local news. So yeah, I know. That was funny. My family's like, strike him. It's like, I'm going to strike him. He stole it from me. But then it's really East Idaho News. They're the ones that own it, but I just used a little clip. And because he used that same clip. Because what happens when you get like a strike or a claim, they tell you the exact second of where you got it from. And usually it's only like 10 seconds. It's just like a little teeny clip, and they'll tell you the exact seconds of where the issue is. So it showed me it was like that part. And I'm like, Dr. Phil, you idiot. I covered this like 3 months before you. I'm going to copyright claim you. You stole mine. He stole it off of me then. Like I had it way before you, so I own it more than you do. I don't own it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it made me so mad. His just kind of made me laugh, but now it's starting to make me mad. This is getting ridiculous. Trying to put in these little clips, and I'm getting claims every little clip I try, if it's just from a documentary. Can't do it. Yeah, I'm trying to get somebody to just finish it with me, because I just want to finish this, the cross-examination. Does anybody want to finish it real quick with me? Just this witness, because that's all I could probably do in reading, because I really am getting a headache when I read. Because it's been like, wow, this is going on like basically 8 hours, because my first part one was over 4 hours. This is going on 4. It's fun. I want to finish it. It's going to take a few days. But Saturday, A-Team, I don't know, I think you're gone, but A-Team for sure, we're doing the panel Saturday. So A-Team was one of the first ones to want to do it, but I guess they're gone. Yeah, see, I could, but the only thing is I couldn't like say that I own that clip. For me to strike him or do a claim back to Dr. Phil, it'd be like I would have to take ownership in the East Idaho News clip, and I don't own it, but either does freaking Dr. Phil. So how arrogant for him to claim it. I think what happens is, like, when you're a creator, you'll get like a list of like if somebody takes your material. So I think what happens to these big corporation, like these big companies, is they just claim everything that's in their list. They don't even happen to look at it. They don't care. They just check everything off and just either strike or claim. However they do it, they just do it. Just greedy, instead of looking at the actual each one specifically and seeing if it really is an issue. It's just bull crap. I don't know. Let me look, Karen, 56. I'll look, but we'll have to figure it out, but we'll do it. But does anybody want to just help finish this real quick? And I sent out so many invites and only basically 3 people. Like A team, I feel bad I didn't get to her, but only about 3 people out of probably, I would say I sent out like 15 invites of people that were supposed to read all together, because the first 12, and then I sent out more of people that emailed me after that. I don't know. Nobody's coming. I think maybe they're scared. I don't know. I understand though, people that aren't used to it. Mama Mia wants to get up here. Is that what you mean? Oh no. I didn't do I just started the transcripts today. No, we're just Mama Mia right now, like we're just doing both. Like I'm playing the defense and then I was having the other person play the prosecution. Yeah, we just started them today. I happened to read a few of them because it was a part of that website. Remember when we were reading parts of it? Maybe that's what you're talking about. Well, I don't know. I guess I could just go finish it real quick by myself if nobody wants to come. I just want to finish this witness, the recross. Let me see how long it is. Hold on. Man, I don't know if I can do it though, because when I was starting to get a bad headache from doing it so long. Let me see here how much farther we have. So we're on page 41. We're about to do the cross-examination by Douglas. I love when I play him. I don't know why. He just is so ridiculous that it makes me laugh. Wow, there's still a lot. This is long. Yeah, there's no way I'll be able to do this by myself for sure. Let me see. 41. Yeah, we might have to just continue. I just hate like stopping right in the middle of a witness. But they did it on that first day, didn't they? Yeah, there's kind of a lot on that recross. Whew, I definitely can't do this by myself right now. It's just my head will be. Whew, I don't think I can do it right now. Unless we could try. If somebody wants to help, we could try, but I don't know. This is fun though. It's just after so long, it's like gets to your eyes. I don't know. I guess we could just stop in the middle because my head, unless I haven't got anybody that said that would come on real quick. I was starting to do an accent, but then I couldn't get every word with the accent, so I just quit because I'm like, I don't know how to do every word with the accent. Sometimes mine sounds like so weird if I try to do a Southern accent because I only know like I don't know, I can't do it all, so I just quit doing it. But she was doing good. Oh, so you want to do it, Mama Mia? I thought I sent you a invite though. I don't think you ever came, did you? I swear I sent you one. Do you have an invite? I thought you were one I sent to, but then you never came. Which, like I said, I understand, but do you have the invite or no? Well, I'll just send you another one just in case. Because my chat's so behind, it takes forever before it comes up, I feel like. Hold on. Which one did you send it to me? Here, I'll send you another invite. I think you might have sent it on both my emails, right? I'll send it if you. I haven't seen if you do want to do it, but I'll resend it. And if you do, then come on, come on over. I don't know, man. If 2 of you want to do it, I'll sit back. Man, I'm gonna try, guys, but my head is freaking killing. I just feel like I'm gonna try my hardest because it's gonna be stupid to stop in the middle of a witness. Right. All right. I sent you, Mama Mia. Let me know. Do you really want to? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want. Don't feel pressure, but if you want to, do it. Come on. If not, we might have to just wait. It's up to you. Big tag. I feel bad because A-Team, she was here, and by the time we got to the next witness, she wasn't backstage anymore. So I think she probably ended up, because it was getting late. I felt bad. But she's going to be Saturday. She's supposed to come on panel, so that'll be good. I'm just scrolling through chat until wait to see if Mama Mia wants to come. Whew, yeah. We'll have to do, this might take like all week to do, because I don't know if I'll be able to do 8 hours every night for these transcripts. So this might take like a week before we get them done. But I'm learning some things. Like the thing is, though, because those 30,000 mistakes, I don't believe that first neighbor. I feel like that first neighbor and the cop, they contradict stories. Were you listening to what the cop was saying happened? Like, for instance, who they pulled over? He said he pulled over a female. He never said anything about the car of 4 guys. There's just some things that just contradicted that neighbor. So I feel like that neighbor his memory wasn't quite perfect. Like he was off, I feel like, but I don't know. Let's just finish and we'll see. Oh, Mia, what's up?
I don't know what I'm doing. I've got all sorts of sounds going on.
Okay, so first of all, no, you'll be fine, but mute. Make sure that the YouTube's muted because I heard an echo. First of all,
Oh, goodness.
I can't hear. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, my connection might not work.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, it works.
Wait, say something.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me, or am I breaking up? No, can't hear me.
What the heck was that? It sounded like an animal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So is it all? Okay. Right.
Okay, we could try, but there's like weird, like sometimes you'll echo, and then it made this weird like.
That was me tongue clicking.
Oh, okay.
All right. Is it working?
Well, let me see. I feel like when I talk, I could kind of hear. You're sure you have yeah, I could hear echo on myself. So you have yours turned down, right? The YouTube, you have to turn it down.
Okay, so
I would just turn off the YouTube because if you're going to be reading, you don't need to even have the YouTube up because I could hear myself echo. I think that's the issue.
I'm going to be reading. I don't need to have YouTube up.
You read through the StreamYard side and just take off YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so is it in another window? Hang on.
Oh, okay. That should clear it up because I think that's why it was doing it because of the.
Well, I'm off the hook if it doesn't. I'll just get out of here.
No, but it's nice to meet you. Sorry, I couldn't. Or wait.
Okay, I'll just have to say something. If it doesn't work, I'll just get out of here.
Did you exit out of YouTube and it's still doing it?
Well, I can only see the StreamYard site.
Okay, so but you don't have YouTube up on any of the other your sites, right?
Nope.
Okay, so we could try. I don't know. I know. Well, see what is that noise? There's an echo for some reason. Yeah. What are you using? Are you using your phone?
No, I'm using a laptop, but I've not done this before, and I'm pretty old, so this is all probably fairly above me, beyond me.
Well, what microphone are you using? Is it just your laptop?
Just the computer. Yeah.
Why am I hearing like weird echoes though? We could try, but I feel like it's gonna be echoes.
I haven't heard before.
Yeah, why is it doing that though?
I don't know.
Do you guys hear that or is it just me? Usually it's the chat that could hear it and I can't, but I could actually hear it this time. Do you have
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
People are saying, do you have earphones you could plug into the laptop and go through that way?
That's a good point. I actually don't, but that could be what it is. It's your computer just can't handle itself
It's
because it's
making
not
like,
even powerful.
see, I'm hearing myself echo sometimes, and then it's making this weird, like almost like it's underwater type sound.
And you've spoken to England and Australia and all that sort of stuff before, so it's not a distance thing, is it?
Well, I had Dave. Yeah, Dave. He was just on last week. Yeah, I think his was pretty good. Who else have I had? I'm trying to think.
Zav, I have masking tape in front of my camera. That's how low tech I am. I don't know what.
Man, I wish.
Right, well,
I don't know why that's picking up. What is that though? I don't know what that is.
Mysterious mystery. Let's give someone else a go.
Oh, well, it's nice. I'm glad to meet you. I mean, like to hear you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Next time, maybe try to get a pair of headphones next time, and we'll try it that way. But yeah, like I don't think it's gonna work now because it's. If I could hear it, then they probably hear it even worse because usually I hear it the least amount. I feel like so. Yeah.
No worries at all. Thank you so much, Zap. I'm out.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's actually probably enough for me.
See, I didn't even understand what you said because the echo. What did you say?
Doesn't matter. I won't struggle. Believe it. Oh, no. No. We won't put everyone through it. I'll just get out.
And it's not your accent. I could, because I know you were worried about the accent, I think you said, but I could understand your accent fine. It's that echo. It's yeah. Well, man, can you get a pair of headphones sometime soon and we can try to do it another time? Okay.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Okay. Well, thanks anyway.
All right. I'll see you back in chat.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Okay. Bye. Yeah, no, somebody had mentioned the, what's it called? Yeah, we could listen to the 911. We will listen to that on the last live. We can listen to it again. That's fine because that's all like it's the problem when you play anything. Well, I could see even a freaking documentary having the 911 call in their freaking documentary, right? And then this is for instance how it could happen, right? This 911 call is for it's like open records, anybody could have it, right? But a freaking documentary has that 911 call in their documentary, right? And then it comes up on their YouTube channel, a match. So they get like, oh, somebody might have stole your material. There's a match. The audio matches up. And then instead of looking at everyone to see if it really is a copyright issue, they just make copyrights on everything. That's how this stuff happens. And it would just be like the 911 call. That could happen. But no, I'm not worried because I have played that and that was okay. But I'm saying that is an example how some of this stuff is wrong. But do you guys really want to listen to it again? We listened to it in the last live, actually, the 911 call. Maybe we'll start out with that when we do the transcripts next time because I think I gotta call it a night, guys. I have a headache, but yeah, we could definitely listen to that next time. We'll start out with it so then it's kind of like fresh. We should have done that today because a lot of that was talking about that 911 call at the beginning, but oh well, it's too late. Can't go back. We're just gonna have to pick up from this witness. Maybe Libra Scales can continue at least that witness because she started it with me. So I think I got to call. Maybe this is better off. I just kind of want to close my eyes. I just got a bad headache, guys. I know, Barbara. I think she's going to need a pair of headphones or something because like once in a while you hear my echo and then you hear like that underwater sound. And you're not the only one I've heard that. I've heard that with other people before. I don't know what it is. I don't know what causes it, why it does that. But a lot of people in chat were saying maybe try headphones. That could work. Maybe it's when people are just using the microphone without headphones that maybe that's why it does it. I don't know. But I have heard of that before. Where you can I'll hear my echo only once in a while, not every time. It's weird. So yeah, I think I am, man. I need to close my head is hurting. I know I should break because I got this big white screen that it was like everything was white, but then the words is what for basically 8 hours looking at it. And then I have this two lights ahead of me, like LED hanging over. Well, one's a ring light, one's a LED this way, and then I have a LED facing me this way. So it's just like, oh, headache right now. Plus, trying to read a screen creates like eye strain, kind of, So, Lizabella, what's up? It's so good to see you. 12 p.m. So it's better that way, I guess. Oh, wait, what are you talking about? I don't need what? Break, it's okay. I actually have just limited time. I have to go to 12 p.m. So it's better that way, I guess. Wait, who are you responding to, Liz? Oh, it's probably not to me, huh? I was confused. I'm like, what does that mean? Okay, yeah, we're gonna continue it. Hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll do a little bit more, and then Saturday will be a panel discussion, and then we'll continue it this week. I'm sorry, I know I was gonna do some transcripts earlier this week, but I was feeling bad. I didn't feel good all week. My brother, he was staying here from Columbus because we had my mom's birthday Friday and then the niece's Saturday, and he was sick. Thought he had COVID. Had a headache because my older brother had gotten it and my nephews and his girlfriend, and their main symptom was a headache when they had it. They could like a headache they could not get rid of. That was like their main symptom they had when my older brother had it. So my younger brother never gets headache, and he had a headache he could not get rid of. He was taking ibuprofen, etc. It would not go away. So we were like, thought for sure, okay, he has COVID. And so he went and he went that night to get tested, and they freaking said, oh, he waited an hour. He's had a scheduled rapid test. They said, oh, they gave it to like a doctor or something was getting tested. Never even bothered telling him. He waited out in the car for like 2 hours, and finally they came out and he's like, no, we had to give it to somebody else. It's like, so he had to go back the next morning. He tested negative, but my brother's girlfriend said when she had it, after the first couple of days of symptoms, she knew she had it, went in, tested negative, went back a couple of days later, tested positive. So she told my brother, she's like, just because you test negative after a couple of days does not mean you don't have it. She's like, you need to go back and get it tested. So anyway, my neighbor was over for my mom's party. So she ended up getting a headache for like days after. I don't know if she still has a headache. I ended up, it was that time of the month. So I had the cramps, but then on top of it, it was nauseous, headache. Just, I don't know. I just felt like crap all week. Today was the first day I felt at least decent enough to actually do the transcripts, or we probably would have had them done by now because I was planning on doing them like Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, so sorry, it got kind of pushed back. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better now. But this headache I have now, I didn't have a headache earlier today. So I think it really is just from this. So I think I was going to be all right just from looking at the screen and stuff. So I think I'm all right now. So I don't know if it was just like a bug or he did have it and I don't know. And we just had like a mild, I mean, I guess I felt like crap, but from like, I would call it mild because there's people freaking having a lot worse, So, I'm knocking on wood. I don't know, but I just be thankful that I'm starting to feel better. So, yeah, headache. See, it was in the middle of like my time of the month, so I had like really bad cramps. I was like, either this is like the worst period I've ever experienced, or I'm going through my period plus on top of it, I'm sick, because it was like the cramps, first of all, started a couple days before I even started, and then it was just the worst on top of it, like nauseous, and then the headache is like either this is the worst ever, or yeah, I don't know. Who knows, but we are good to go now, guys. So yeah. I don't know why I probably share too much information, guys. Sorry. Oh well, I like sharing with you guys. I don't know, I feel comfortable just sharing because we all just share, right? When we're just I feel like most of the group, I can't say all of us, but most of us are women because you get like the stats. I think it's like 80 or 85% of, I was just looking at them yesterday. You're like, your analytics is like women. The people that watch me are women. So most of us are women. So that's why I like talk openly about stuff like women's stuff, because most of us are. There's a few men here and there, but for the majority, I would say we're all women here. Ooh, sister, yuck. I actually I ate a little snack when I went downstairs in between my break. And I drank, well, actually, no, I drank one whole bottle and then like almost a half, so like a bottle and a half. I guess that's really not that much for like 8 hours, but I had 2 cups of coffee. Oh, I didn't even finish this cup. I don't think I'm gonna finish it. Wait to see if wait, catch what? Wait, what are you saying, Mama Mia? Catch what? Let me see. Did I miss something? I'm not, I don't see. Hey, Karen, did you need something? I don't know. I'm trying to catch, you said till I catch it, so I'm trying to go up to see. I don't see what you guys were talking about. So yeah, okay, here's the situation. I had that form that if you go back to my community post, like you could fill out the form if you want to do the transcripts or if you want to do just the panel. But if you want to do the panel Saturday, yeah, fill out the panel one. But the transcripts, I had 12 people. Like I said, I don't know. I feel like that's not working out. No, the panel, I love the forms. Those are cool, but I don't know if I should just have you fill the form out and then just look at the newest ones and then send you invites, or just email me if you want to do the transcripts like tomorrow and then next week. It's up to you guys. I'll look at the form again. If you want to just fill out the form or email me, I'll try to keep up. But if you guys are interested in reading the transcripts, definitely, because we're going to need people, because we're going to need breaks. Like I wouldn't even mind having a break at one point, one witness. Well, like then we can maybe get more done. We're like, okay, so then the next people read, and then I'll just sit back and be in chat or something. So yeah, let's just do it. But you're saying that, chatterboxes, but when the push comes to shove, like nobody ever shows up. Like I said, I had 12 people on that list that said they would do it. One person from the list came through. And then the other ones were after, that they volunteered because they were in the live. And A team doesn't count because A team was on the list to do the panel, not the transcript. So she was just an extra, basically. Believe me, I know you guys are seeing it like, oh, you have readers. But we don't have readers until they're actually backstage waiting. And there's a lot of people that they say they will and they don't end up coming through. I'm just telling you, which is fine. I understand you're nervous. It's just not for everybody. Maybe you just think you could do it, and then when it comes down to it, you don't. I'm not mad. Don't think I'm not mad at anybody, but I'm just saying it just doesn't, it never works out to. No, I don't want to say it never works out, because it's gonna work out, but I just the more the merrier, because let's say we have like 25 people that say, and then only 5 people show up. So yeah, just keep volunteering, and I'll try to keep sending out invites, because chances are they're not always gonna, only a few show up is what I'm trying to say. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Oh, Dr. Phil, all the hearts, all the love about you and Dr. Phil. Yeah. Ava, okay. So Ava, all the people that are volunteering, it's going to be tomorrow. So send me your email or sign that form that's in the community post, or just do the zavgirl, the proton email. However you want to somehow get my attention to let me know you want to read. And I'll send you the invites tomorrow or when we do the next read through, and then I'll wait to see who shows up. Okay, Eva. So tomorrow, you're saying you would read, or yeah, whenever I come on the next live, I'll send out invites. So, do I have your email, Eva? Either email me or there's a form, like I said, on my community post that I posted yesterday. It's there's a form for the panel, but if you want to do the transcripts, fill out the form for the transcripts. All you do is you just put your name, your email, and you could, I guess it doesn't matter. It says, do you think she's guilty or innocent? But that part, it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, she thinks it is. I'm not getting you. It's just a question. I like to have a variety. I like to have, actually, that'd be cool to have some people on Transcripts that do think she's guilty. So as when we stop and chat, we have different opinions. So that part doesn't matter how you answer. So yeah, just fill it out or email me and we'll do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's 5:30 a.m. Oh my god, yeah. I gotta go. Karen, thank you for coming. Mama Mia, thanks. Sister Linda. Kate, yes. Barbara, Amy, Kevin, we got a mail in the house. Yeah, Ava, awesome, Ava. Yes, definitely. Thank you, because we will need you. So definitely will need you. So yeah, that'll be cool. So like I said, I would like to do it like maybe where I could, one of the witnesses where I could just sit back and take a break. So then we could actually get breaks for us. So maybe we could probably do, well, I don't know if it would burn you guys out, but we could probably do like a all day live and just take turns and get all the transcripts done. But I don't know. All right. Oh, okay. What time zone are you in? Cleopatra. Oh, you work, Karen. Okay. Well, next time. I can't do any more today. I really can't. I'm just going to go to sleep. Oh, I can't wait to shut my eyes. No, you don't think you'll be able to be understood, Emma? You know what accent I have trouble understanding? Like, what's that? It's Irish. A lot of Irish. What was a movie that I could not understand it for the life of me? And they had Irish accents, and I was just, it was so hard. I've tried to watch it over and over because it's supposedly a really good movie, and I cannot do it because I can't make out what they're saying. I can't think of the name of it though. But yeah, I know they're Irish accents. Wait, what would Scottish be similar to? Let me see something. Scottish. I'm trying to picture what picture or hear what a Scottish would sound like. Let me see something. Is it similar to Irish? Because the first thing that comes up is Irish versus Scottish. Is that come up because maybe it's a little bit similar? If that's the case, then yeah, I might have trouble understanding it. I don't know. All right, Eva, Cleopatra, email me in Oklahoma. Wait, what? Oh, you're pretty close to me, Cleopatra. It's 5:30 here. So you're only an hour off. Oh, you weren't the one that said that. Who said that? Oh, that's right. It was Eva that said she was on a different time, right? 11:30 a.m. Oh, yeah, the Netherlands. Okay, so that is a huge difference. Okay. So Cleopatra, you're pretty similar. Okay, so yeah, I'll either if you show up in the live and then tell me, or if you email me and just give me a heads up to your email, because basically to send an invite, I need your email, and then yeah, we'll get. And the only reason I feel like 2 at a time is what works, so that's why it'll be probably like 2 at a time's perfect, and then we'll take turns, so it'll be like maybe like hour or 2 increments per depends on how long the witness is. You see this, some witnesses take like what? An hour and a half at least, maybe, to get through one, or maybe even longer. So I don't know. We got to figure out what the best way to do that is. All right. Oh, Gerard Butler? Wait, I can understand him. Okay. Okay. So that's Scottish. Yeah, I think I'd be able to understand you then. Oh yeah, guys. Here, let me put the email of the doc. I was just using, you could either go, well, the one I'm using, because it seems like it's a little bit easier to read. The Last Defense, it's called Has Trial Transcripts, but I'm using the one off of the Darlie Facts. I could just do this. Hold on, copy. Here, I'll just post. There is what the transcripts we've been using. If you guys want to look over them ahead of time, this website's awesome. This is that website that we're going over in the last live too. Yeah, it takes the side of her being innocent, but the transcripts are the transcripts. I mean, it's the same as, whatever. It's still going to be the mistakes. It's just the transcripts. When they transcribed them, I don't know why they made so many mistakes. It wasn't the last defense. It was the people that transcribed them. So, but yeah, so take a look at these. The people that want to read, look at these. If you want to look over them ahead of time, we're already to basically David Waddell. That's where we left off in the cross-examination. So anybody after him is, if you want to look over them and prepare. But no, then you'll be one step ahead of me, because I'm probably not going to look over them ahead of time. So don't, I'm just joking. Do whatever you want. But that's what we're going to be doing. I like to do 8:30, but see, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, if I'm depending on how I feel, I'm hoping I feel all right tomorrow. I just need to get to bed, but usually my lives start like 8:30, 9 o'clock if I do one. So Eastern time. I could explain it, but not 100 letters. Huh? All right. So commitments. So now I'm seeing some men up in here. Matt Willis. I get excited when I see men because they're more rare in the chat. They always stick out because you don't see many. So we got Matt and Kevin in here. Nice to see you guys. What was the question? Somebody asked me something I wanted to answer real quick. Oh, the time. Yeah. Just between 8 and 9, if that's the time I usually go live. Eastern time. So, here, I'll put it up here, but if you guys ever need it, it's always under my description. Oh, not my Proton. My Gmail is under, or wait, did I change it to, hold on a second. Let me see what goes under my description. Hopefully I did update it, but I can't remember if I did. Let me see real quick. 1 second, guys. If I did, then I should have, but I can't remember if I did. Hold on. Yeah, I updated it. It's under all my descriptions, the Proton mail, but I'll put it here again. And then like I said, if you ever need it, just go under the description or my about page. But yeah, under the videos in the description, you'll find my email. Proton mail. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you hopefully tomorrow. And then Saturday is going to be the panel, so that'll be a nice break from the transcripts. We'll do the panel discussion, and then get back to the transcripts. I'm glad you guys are liking it. I'm having fun reading them. I am. It's just now it just got to the point where it's like, okay, this is enough. Break time. It's what time is there, Liz? So it's like 11. Wait, you're 6 hours ahead too, right? So it's like noonish. It's so weird. You guys are in the freaking future. I love it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. You guys are hard to get off. Like, I feel like you're hard to leave. What's up, Rain Dancer? Arbine Wood, Linda. Can say hi one more time to everybody. All right. I should go, guys, so I could. All right. Bye, guys.